those hands and lights can't stop me. I just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from the sky. Now with you, now with you, that I get when looking down from the sky. Those hands and lights can't stop me. I'll just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from the sky. Now with you, now with you, I can't give up this
Oh, yeah. Are we talking about losing control? I'm gonna show you how we lose control, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CCS 2 stream this time. I'm jasonscript5. I have TDS with me. How are we doing tonight, my friend?
Another week, another set of matches of CB Rush. I'm excited for whatever comes because I honestly don't know what to expect. But yeah, this time on the second stream, I'm kind of interested in seeing how if this one performs better or not, or if the teams are going to be more wacky because we're on the second one.
I mean, quite frankly, I blame Flay. You know, he always given us he
Yep.
always given us the run of the litter. But I'm not complaining because we have an absolute banger tonight for this week 2 matchup. We have CV Rush, the famous CV Rush, their proper CV Rush with their lineup
Yep.
this time, up against Bing Chiller's Worry Brothers. Some powerhouse teams going up in a powerhouse match tonight. What do you have to expect? And honestly, now that CV Rush have their starting top laner, have their full roster, what do you expect to see from a team that's going to be functioning on proper gears this time?
Well, for a team that last week kind of gave a good run for their money to one of the stronger teams, right? So having now their actual roster, I'm excited to see how they can perform. Last week we had two really good banger games, so I'm hoping the same for this time around. Like we cannot get stuck on the first week being the best week, so I hope that they deliver today. Pink Shooter is a team that consistently does perform well enough. Like maybe they don't get towards the end to the best stage possible, but they are a team that typically bring the good things all around the season. So I'm excited to see how they perform at least at the start, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one thing that I'm really looking forward to is, being able to just kind of see how CVR decide to operate. Finally, see Rutledge in that jungle position,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of expectation going into this because afterwards, like both these teams are considered some of the stronger teams within the league, and you had Binch's Worry Brothers who picked up an absolute stomp of a win against them. Let them cook, I believe. Banger going crazy on the Silas jungle. Matt G kind of running it down. Bad player. Magic kind of sucks, bro. But I mean, I think this is going to be a very, very nice contested matchup. It'll be interesting to see kind of players off role. Matt G is playing in the mid lane. You have Rutledge in the jungle. There's gonna be a lot of difference in terms of how we go. But it looks like draft is gonna be live here, TDS.
Yeah, we're going to start. We're going to get the opportunity to see what they are going to go for. And I really have a hope that it's going to be a 3 game series. So I'm excited to see what they opt into for the draft phase here. Like, I come yesterday, once again, from Metashift, having to see quite a bit of a mix up in terms of what champions end up being strong and what not. I saw the Udyr first pick be able to run around people. Then I saw Singed counter pick into the Jax. I want to see those spicy picks as well. Not just the typical Maokai jungle in the first in blue side first pick, which probably
Yeah,
will get.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, looking at the bans so far, definitely some targeted player picks. You see Bangers, Kindred getting targeted out. You see the Sejuani being denied from Rutledge, but it looks
Oh,
like Varus is going to be the pickup for Fuijin here. And I like a Varus solid pick. I don't like I don't like the meta shift stuff that happened last night. There was just so much excitement there, DDS. Hopefully,
yeah,
hopefully I don't get a heart attack 2 nights in a row.
true. Although you're going to be the one playing against them later on, so I'm going to get the chance to just flame you if something bad happens there.
Oh
But
hell no.
truthfully, truthfully, this time around, they are starting with the Barris, not the typical first pick. I'm not against it. I like the poke potential that it has. I like the mix potential that it has because you can flex builds and even positions based on what we saw yesterday. So I'm excited to really see what they pull off here with the Barris. Immediately answered by a Tristana, which can also be a flex champion. But I think right now with the mid lane champions, I'm really interested in seeing if it's going to go into that position. And then Pike. Like I don't know if I need to say a lot about Pike, but it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, wait. I think CBR played Pike last week, didn't they?
I think they did in the second game, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, kind of,
I feel like
definitely had
they
a, yeah, they did, and I remember kind of, had like a mixed performance on the Pike, some a good like
yeah.
early kill in the bot lane, but then as the game went on and CBR were looking for those roams and looking for those plays, that's when they start to falter a bit. I really like the Thresh, I really like the Wukong, nice counter picks, nice disrupt for the, kind of jump in that Tristana Pike offer, but what are your kind of thoughts on these opening couple picks here so far?
Well, the Wukong feels a really consistent jungler to have, so I understand the pick here. You can really get into the enemy team really effectively, and the ultimate is always going to find some sort of value. Even if you're behind, you can really set up your team for that. The Thresh here, particularly to try and get the disengage going if the Tristana or the Pike go into you, and now even more so with this Amumu potentially being picked, this Thresh gets a little bit even more value because you can just push away someone that is going to try and be too heavily on top of you. I think the idea is good. And I think that as long as they don't get picked off consistently, the side of Bing Cheaters has a really nice comp to play with so far.
Yeah, I mean, Bing Chillers definitely have that kind of dissuasion, a lot of good peel as well. But CBR definitely have that full send. They have Tristana, they have Pike, they have Mumu. Everything about that composition screams that they want to go. And we see Matt G's
Yep.
Akali being banned. I don't know why you're doing that. Um, but definitely, I think for side of CBR, they need to start banning out picks that are dissuading the kind of disengage that Chiller season can offer. I think
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of there can be a lot of good picks that help prevent that kind of full dive. I think maybe a Zillion or maybe Galley or things that have the protective nature. I think getting rid of that would be a great start. However, I'm excited to see how CBR continue to draft because as of right now, if they continue to go on this theme, it's only going to get spicier and spicier.
And with the champions that they have, you're kind of incentivized into going for champions that will try and dive with you. I would have guessed you would have liked to have the Bex if I'm on the side of CB Raj because you want him to go in with you with Prophet, with Mumu, with the Pike as well. So would have been a pretty interesting pick for them. They decide to ban it instead. So maybe they have someone that or something that has a little bit more engaged on their side that maybe the Bex could end up messing up quite a bit. Gragas is another champion that can get mixed into being Chiller's side that is really, really good to try and provide the disengage potential so that the side of CB Rush doesn't have that consistent engage or that follow up that they are really in need of. And I could see them actually opting here for Kaisa so that they send the Tristan into the mid lane and they have another 80 carry to dive into the backline potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's definitely a great idea. Opting for that flex, maybe sending that CVR Tristana mid just to show Matt G how to actually play Tristana. But there's a lot of options. I really like that Camille band coming out from Bing Chill's Rebirth. Ari pick is great. I think that follows the
Ooh.
theme, wanting to go in, wanting to go for the dive. But so far it's looking like Chiller season they need to find a good counter pick. Otherwise, they're not going to have many answers. Thresh does have the box, Wukong does have that Cyclone. Varus does have that R, but I think if CBR play out that fight correctly, so far, that dive threat is still looking very, very dangerous.
100%. I wouldn't be against Syndra here because of the scattered awake. It doesn't seem like it's going to be the play here for being chillers. It's the Sylas. Realistically, there's good ultimates to steal, right? You have the
Mm.
the the
Amumu.
Amumu ultimate, you have the Pike ultimate as well, and even the Ari to a certain degree gives you extra mobility and passive stacking. So I think it's not necessarily a bad champion to pick for the ultimates, but it's a champion that wants to go in. So not having someone to deny you or not having someone to accompany you, and especially going against a composition that also wants to go in, I'm not sure if I'm convinced about the pig. I'm not sure about the Sion here either. Well, Sion can be a little bit more in between for trying to survive and keeping the team alive and also going in. But I would have liked maybe another more defensive kind of top laner, something like a Norn that has super long range engage, but can proactively try and stay with the team.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like there are a lot
Mm.
of picks that kind of just get left off. I think Annie is one pick, that
True.
surprisingly hasn't had any kind of presence in the draft. I think, Ace. Actually, I don't know about Ace, but Scion, Orn. I like the
Oh,
Orn
Azel.
pick idea, but Set also amazing. You pick up the Scion and throw him back in. I think Big Chillers want to go for the Scion to dissuade the fact that CVR can't just dump everything onto Scion. Scion, extremely durable champion, can live practically forever. Silas should offer a good amount of utility with these ultimates that Manji can steal. But the thing is, can they survive the initial onslaught of CBR? I think that'll be the really big question here.
Yeah, certainly. I think the idea of drafting the Scion, even though I think it's probably a really in between champion and could be a little bit risky, is not necessarily bad. Like you're pointing out, a lot of the composition from City Rush is engage onto one target, try and pick him off if possible, try and destroy him with your damage as soon as possible, and then try and play the team fights off of the fact that you already kind of got that first pick. The Scion disincentivizes this because he's tanky enough that even with all your damage, you may not even kill him. So if you're playing with the Scion with that in mind, I think that it's not necessarily a bad idea. The harsh part is when you're in a 5v5, the set throws you into the backline and then everyone follows on top of you. That's where the risk happens, and that's kind of the situation that I'm kind of thinking CB Rush wants to approach in this game.
Yeah, I think looking at CB Rush's comp, they have it's Reset City, Tristana jumping around left and right,
Yep.
Pike gonna be able to cut down people, go for those executes, Amumu and Amumu set going for those engages, Ari getting those Spirit Rush resets. I think if they find a pick, if they're able to catch, maybe the Silas, catch the Wukong, or maybe blow up the Scion before the rest of the team can help, I think that's the dream scenario for the side of CB Rush. But for Bing Chill's WorryBrothers, they have a very, very traditional front to back team fight. I think they
Yep.
might be lacking a little bit in terms of the AP damage, especially now that Silas decides to build Rod of Ages as the kind of go-to item on his build. So there's definitely going to be that on the aspect of worry. But speaking of worry, I'm worried about just whether or not Matt G can survive in lane. You know, I don't
That
like
is going to
Magi.
be a big one.
Sucks. But
That is that is a bit an important worry. Like Silas is one of those champions that, depending against who he's going, can suffer or can thrive. I think range matchup wise, the Ari can really put a lot of pressure, and especially early on, I really love the change to the W because it made some of these matchups so much more playable and so easy to try and just consistently poke the opposing laner. So it's going to be difficult, but I think that as long as you survive to level 6, you should be good enough to just even ditch lane and try and provide support for the rest of the lanes. Try and get someone down in the other parts of the map.
yeah, and speaking of things to get down to, we have to get down to waiting out this spectator delay. So everybody, hold on to your horses, wait a little bit, give us a couple minutes, because we'll be right back with week 2 of the CCS Novice League matchup between Bing Chill's WorryBrothers and CB Rush. ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on towards CCS2 because play sucks. But, being chillers, Worry Brothers, DV Rush loaded onto the Rift, and a couple things to take note here, but it's Lethality Varus, and we have Ignite on Ari, and Halo Blades on Pike, so nothing too crazy, but Lethality Varus, what do you think about it this game?
So it's the popular one. I understand the reason why you probably don't want to opt into attack speed Varus, because if they get on top of you, you probably are going to die, so auto-attacking, it's probably really difficult. But at the same time, there is an issue here because if both the Amumu and the Zed build tank, it's going to be really hard for these barriers to hit. And that's kind of the scary part. It's not like you have a Fiora or a Jax in top lane. You have a Sion. So you're pretty much 80% of your team's physical damage. Well, I'm gonna be good with the Wukong. You're 70% of your team's physical damage.
Yeah, I mean, I trust that Banker is going to be able to deal good AD damage on towards champs like, Set and Mumu. But the thing is, that's not who he wants to go on. He needs to be able to get in towards that back line. And, it definitely is a little bit of a worry just because, Silas, if he gets blown up really quickly, he doesn't offer much damage. He really needs to stick close to those ultimates to be able to do anything. You see here in the top lane, you see Souter getting completely zoned off the XP, completely zoned off the minion wave, and Pip is just kind of bashing his head in.
It hurts quite a bit, but that's kind of the expectation that you should go into with this sort of matchup. You're not going to be happy farming, you're going to have kind of a hard time, but the idea is that you don't lose the lane really. You need to lose gracefully, that's the best way to put it. And that's exactly what they are trying to play here with the Sion and Solder. I will say though, I think that there's opportunities to go for the kill, especially early on. Even with the W, it's kind of hard for the Zed to survive a lot of the upfront damage that the Wukong does give, as well as a good setup by the Sion. So that's kind of one of the best opportunities that they can try and play with. And looking at how the Wukong started, it's looking like they want to play towards that top side at least for the start of the game with a full clear.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of going into the mid lane here, Profiteers absolutely chunking Magi on these electrocute trades. The Q just doing so much damage. The kind of follow up with the auto and the W makes instant electrocute proc, but not bad so far. Is up a little bit of CS. There is a ward on towards that top side, so if Banger does decide to go for that top side gank, he will get spotted out. But so far it just looks like the lanes are applying pressure. Bot lane slightly getting that push early. Mid lane getting pushed in, top lane getting pushed in. It's really just going to be down to how Banger can affect the map. We see here Pyke slowly just starting to get more confidence walking up after that level 1.
I'm just expecting to see this Pyke exactly do that. They could have gone a little bit harder onto the Thresh in that play with the sort of engage that Kanaina pulled up there. Doesn't become much than that, but it's still good showing that they can put pressure into this lane even if the barriers can poke them out a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw an example of that trade right there. You go for the hook, you go for the E, and then Tristana can follow up with a bomb, pile on some damage. Sure, Thresh can go for that flay just to kind of, dissuade some of the Pyke damage. But again, that's what the type of trade you want to take. You see here, kind of, walking into Ahop. You're going to be an exchange between the two supports. Level 2 on the Thresh only. Kind of could choose to follow, won't go for that. It's going to be the AD carries both in bottom lane, and just looks like both junglers are going to take opposite side scuttle crabs. And once again, nothing much going on. There's a ward in that river, so Pip should be relatively safe, especially with this wave pushing back into him. But, still looking like a pretty quiet game so far, TDS.
Yeah, nothing much happening, which I feel to a certain degree for the side of being chillers is not a bad thing. It's not like they want to immediately try and force things to happen. It's not like they need a lead to try and play off this game. They just need to keep the game controlled and play around their first item timings. It's more so on what CB Rush can accomplish early on and what kind of snowball they can try and get rolling so that their composition feels a little bit easier to play.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's really just gonna be down to how Rutledge decides to go for these ganks. As we see, might be a gank in towards the bottom lane. Now Fuijin does have cleanse, the E flash, able to stun up to the cleanse, instantly forced out Fuijin with the hook from Ahop on towards the Tristana. Means our first blood will go over to the Mumu. Sorry, double kill going over towards Rutledge instead though. Banger trying to play this fight out. Magi is in, but Hikaku Uchiha able to jump on out. Kanaina running for his life. The stun not going to be able to connect. Banger uses that E to skip past the Pyke. That's going to be a kill going over towards the Wukong. Again, 2 for 2 so far on the play, TDS. Really intense fight in towards that bottom lane. Great hook from Ahop to be able to make the play, stalled out a little bit, but still once again, winning out for the side of winning out for the side of CBR.
It's winning for CB Rush because of the first blood damage that they got. The gold really good, but the answer from Bing Chillers not bad at all. Really good roam by Matt G, understanding that probably the lane is not the most important part for him, and sacking a little bit so that he could go towards the bottom. And it's like he lost out on a lot of CS. Look at the difference. He's already equal to the Ari with a lane that is pushing into him. So really good start by Matt G, and then Banger starting off with a banger as well, doing a really good job in that initial engage, getting those skills going in their favor, and the Wukong, which is a part that you need to be careful of. Like you were pointing out, he's going to be trying to focus more on the backline. If he starts well enough, he can really deal a lot of damage to them.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this Amumu base, you have that Giant Spell, you have that Blasting Wand compared to just the Sheen on the side of the Wukong. So Rutledge's clear speed should be a lot faster. And here comes Rutledge again. Flash is available on the Thresh. Kakuchiha gonna jump on it. Hits the Q! Rutledge from downtown. Will he follow up? No. Forces the Flash out of A-Hop though. So it's a good play from the side of CB Rush.
Exactly. All in all, it's a flash blown. I think you take that because you now have a second opportunity to revisit down there, and either of them are going to be kind of sitting ducks without that flash. It's a really good start for CB Rush in that bot lane for how it started with the damage and the CS difference in favor of the barriers a bit. It's still good that they are able to put pressure, and if they can collect a kill onto this Tristana, it's going to be really good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at the items right now. Fuijin up 20 CS, has a Dirk, has a tier. So, this lethality Varus is absolutely sitting pretty right now. A lot of that gold lead is really just on towards Rutledge, on towards that sad mummy right there. But, the gank in the bot lane not going off well. It means that Banger has the ability to rotate, has the ability to move and continue to make a play here. So that Magi gets that wave, and you can see the mid-jungle duo for Bing Chiller's WorryBrothers hovering down towards that bottom side.
Banger with level 6 also now, so it's going to be easier to be able to pull off those ganks. I don't remember the name of the ultimate, but the ultimate is going to be really effective to knock up multiple targets and even cancel the rocket jump and the dash away from Kanaina if they are not careful enough.
It's a Cyclone, by the way.
Cyclone, yeah.
Yeah, but now the thing is, there's a lot of great vision from the side of CBR to be able to protect this bottom side. We see that River Ward is situated. Make sure that the flashless Tristana Pike is able to jump on out, use their mobility spells to get on out of there. So that's a good defensive step from the side of CBR here. But we see Rutledge just waiting in the wings, waiting slowly. But the thing is, you push that wave, it's not looking good. No flash, no cleanse.
Yeah.
Cleanse used a little bit early by Fuijin, but great Lantern to be able to save his AD carry. But A-Hop might be in trouble here. Igniting down onto his region zone. Rutledge is tanking so many tower shots. Kanaina able to tank and help out. Kakuchiha pick up the kill, but the hook gonna go wide. Banger coming in with the Cyclone. Pike is able to get on out with that E, and once again, another 2 for 2 in the bot lane.
And a little bit of a misplay there by Kanaina when they pulled off the dive. They didn't measure up the damage. I think that the thresh wasn't executed, and that means that they had to stay a little bit longer to the play. That's why at the end they are able to trade Rutledge and then also buy enough time for Banger to come down there and be able to clean up. The idea is not bad. They waited really long, and it almost went flawless. But at the same time, they didn't execute flawless, and that means that it's a 3 for 2 actually, because the Wukong doesn't die. Or no, actually no, 2 for 2.
It's 2 for 2.
Yeah, Kanaina doesn't die.
Oh, but the thing is, look at the mid lane here. Magi just taking so much punishment. I mean, it's well played from Prophet of Tears to be able to, pressure lane and still be up so much CS, but the Spirit Rush forced out super early on. Prophet of Tears not going to be able to have this cooldown. I think if you're being Chiller's WorryBrothers right now, definitely a great window of opportunity to be able to look at a dragon, look at a major objective. Especially with Ari basically not having any kind of mana, not having that ultimate available. Good window right now.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that. I will say though, Banger so far really playing well, doing a lot for the team, keeping them really controlled, not allowing a lot of opportunities for the side of CB Rush. I think he's been playing a really good game.
Absolutely. I mean, this really good game, it stems from everything within the bot lane. 100% kill participation for Kakuchiha and Kanaina. They definitely want to get that ball rolling, but they are down a little bit of gold right now. Kakuchiha down 300 gold. You see the jungle matchup. Rutledge up 200 advantage for the mid lane Prophet of Tears as well. Pip only up 100 gold. So gold is relatively even. The only major difference is really just between the AD carries right now. We see here UBC Souter might get caught out. Gonna get stunned up by Rutledge as well.
I really
Not
want
gonna
this
be able
kill.
to use that Scion ult to drive on out of their flash. Forced out from top laners, but Banger and Matt G are here. Cursing us that mummy stolen away.
CC.
The knock up, everything's coming on down, and Matt G able to pick up a kill on towards Pip.
He survived for way too long. That Scion able to buy enough time so that Matt G and Banger can go in. Matt G does fail the E on the wall, so has to flash. But at the end, they do get the kill, and that's really what matters at the end. 1 kill, and also allowing for the Scion to have a little bit of free time up there in top lane. The set doesn't even have teleport, so he's going to get a couple of plates up there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really surprised at just how they weren't able to kill UBC Souter there. You know, Scion doesn't have the best health, doesn't have the highest health bar right now, so definitely a bit of a start. We see the bot lane engagement going down as well. Ahop gonna get jumped on to execute, coming on in. Kaina picks up the kill. Gold stacks going over. Flash hook trades the flash as well. Heal coming out from Tristana just to play it a little bit safe, but that's the potency of this Tristana bike bot lane, TDS.
Exactly, went in with the damage they had, they were able to execute it, and they get the kill onto Ahop. Luckily the Varus doesn't die, which I think is the most important part. Like, even if his flash is down, you still don't want to lose this Varus at all. But I think this is going to be first turret. They have Herald, they have a Tristana, and I don't think there's going to be a lot of response, although Banger seems to be going down there.
Yeah, Banger pathing down towards that bottom side. You see Divine Sunderer completed on the Wukong already, first mythic
Not
on
enough.
the map, so you know, definitely a really great pickup here. We see a couple, like a good 4 plates, I believe, going over towards the jungle, bot, and support of the side of CBR. So definitely a great play there. And, you know, once again, just playing towards that bot side, 100% kill involvement on that bottom lane. And, you know, we can see why Rutledge wants to put that Herald there, get the ball rolling for that Tristana. Kraken Slayer completed already. Pike 2, 0, and 3 has that Dustblade, has those boots of mobility, and should be unlocked on the map now.
Exactly, they want to provide enough pressure for them or enough value for them so that they can be impactful. Oh, Rutledge though.
Yeah, but speaking of pressure, Rutledge might be in trouble here. Has to go with the Curse of
Is it enough?
super
Yep.
early. Gonna get blown up by Phrygian. Prophet of Tears might be in trouble as well. But Hikaku Uchiha jumps on in looking like Matt G right now. Matt G picks up the kill on towards the Tristana. Banger so low on the HP. Pike coming on and getting the shutdown. Plus 450 gold going over there. It's going to be a 2-for-1, but the play is looking awkward. Members of Bing Chillers right now have to walk down in towards the jungle. Prophet of Tears. Q goes reverse. Is it? No, not giving up. Legion picks up the snipe with that blinding arrow. And that's going to be a great play from the side of CB Rush. Invading this Amumu with no flash, catching people out. And Hikaku Uchiha trying to cosplay Matt G from last week, jumping on into 3 people, getting himself killed.
Trying his best to not do the best possible there. I understand the idea, don't get me wrong. I will say I understand why Hikaku Uchiha jumps there, because if they burst the Banger quickly, then it should be a pretty easy play to go pull off. And also the ultimate from the Mumu hit 4 people. So when you see the play, you kind of feel like you have to commit and follow up there. But if it fails like it did, that's exactly what happens. This Tristana is left alone on the side. They almost couldn't kill Banger. And then perfect snipe to kill Prophet of Tears. Really, really good play. As a unit from the side of Bing Cheaters, everyone moves together and are able to provide enough damage and pressure so that they can get the kill. Really, really well played and really, really well done.
Yeah, I mean, the thing was there, it was just not like, you know, from the side of Bing Chillers, all 4 members were there, kind of rotating on. Oh, Fuijin might be in trouble here. Cleanse is available for the Varus, is able to get on now. Chains of Corruption could go down as well if they want to look for the turn. We see the teleport coming in from UBC Souter as well. The teleport response coming in from Pip as well. The Messiah ultimate gonna get buffered out a little bit, not gonna be enough of Wukong able to pick up the kill on towards Kainaina as well, but here comes Maggie, here comes Banger, Set, able to pick up a huge shutdown on towards Weavage as well. The slide is split up on towards 2 sides there. Wukong and Silas gonna be up against Rutledge. Rutledge able to drop on the ultimate as well. Prophet of Tears able to get up the charm, able to get the Spirit Rush and dash on over, but Hikaku Uchiha wants more. Tristana jump just isn't enough, and Banger versus the world just can't get there. Matt G sitting out in the alcove, but is able to get bailed on out by that Thresh Lantern. It's going to be a 2-for-3 in the favor of CB Rush, but once again, just a super messy play there, TDS.
It really was. I think it was a 3-4-3 because Kanaina does die at the start of it a
Oh,
little bit
yeah.
earlier. So I do think it ends up being a 3-4-3. But still, that's so much chaos that is happening all around the game. Everyone fighting, everyone just trying to one up the other. And it's been really enjoyable so far. There's questionable plays that you can go for. Maybe jumping as Tristana, not the best thing that Hikaku Chiha has been doing so far. But the fights have been not one-sided. Like both teams have had good fights and have been able to play them out really well on both sides. Oh, Fujin, no, you're
Oh,
alone here.
Fujin, gonna be in trouble here. Misses the chains of corruption, but Kanaina has to walk on out of there. I mean, the thing is, TDS, you look at the gold graph right now. Bing Chillers are down. Just a couple, just 300 gold here, even though the kill count is in their favor. Now, it is going to be a dragon fight. Pip is going to be a little bit late to the fight. Can Rutledge get the steal?
Ooh.
No, but this is going to be a hook
Again?
onto Hikaku Uchiha. The Tristana going to get cancelled out by that decimating smash. Banger, able to pick up the kill. Huge high gold, able to pick up the shutdown on towards the Wukong. Can CBR Rutledge last for a little bit longer? This is going to be a shutdown going over on towards the Wukong. The return from the side as well. Matchy on a killing spree right now. Going to jump
Do they
on
have
towards
enough damage?
The damage from CB Rush is just
Oh, I
not
think they
there,
do.
TDS. Matt G able to walk out with 1 HP. The decimating smash is
Oh,
too
no,
much
Kanaina.
to execute. Not there. Fortune picks up the kill. Matt G lives on a sliver of health, and that's gonna be an ace for the Big Chillers.
And you were questioning Matt G's Silas, Jason. It's delivering
He
in
still
those
sucks.
fights. He's delivering so far, 4-0-6, doesn't die just by the skin of the teeth of his teeth though. The Kanaina ultimate was just to the side. It could have really been the difference between Machi dying there, but I still think the teamfight win goes in favor of Pink Chillers even if Machi dies there because they played that out super well. Yes, you killed Banker at the start, but everyone was running the side of CB Rush super effectively on the side and they pull off a really good team fight.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this gold right now, and it's just everything is screaming in towards Banger, screaming in towards Magi, screaming in towards Region. The 3 carries on the team, pulling off the numbers, pulling off the damage right now. Magi up a little bit of CS. That last team fight, he told Kanain to turn around real quick, because my goodness, able to just dissuade the play, cancel out the execute with that Rod and Conqueror healing, and CBR just haven't been able to find the fight that they need at all. And Nikaku Chia in so much trouble too. Might just get solo kill here. Forces the rocket jump
Massive
out.
dash.
The Scion
Oh.
jumping on in. The Tristana ult. Still, the Scion
it
really
enough?
tanky there, so I don't think that's going to be any kill threat going on in. We see the mid lane going for a play. 2-man Everfrost will cleanse used early. Fujin might be in trouble to execute. Miss from Pike the Charm. Miss from Ari as well. Everything is going wide left, right, and center, but the Ignite able to get on the kill. The stun coming in from Rutledge. The stun coming in from Rutledge again. Banger able to get trade, try to get something. Not gonna be enough though. 2 for 0 going over towards the side of CB Rush. Still the flash re-engage from Banger, able to get the knockup, but so low the W, able to kill Matt G. Gonna take the set ultimate, can he run on out? The stun coming in, the hook coming on in. That's so much damage, but is it gonna be enough? CBR Rutledge living by the skin of his teeth as well. 1 for 3 for the side of CBR, and the plays just keep going left, right, and everywhere. TDS, 1 minute, it's good play for the Big Chillers. 1 minute, CBR find their way back in.
Exactly. Neither team is giving themselves up. Everyone is trying, everyone is doing, and it's a really competitive game so far, really enjoyable. I will say though, I cannot blame the side of Pink Chillers, particularly how Ahop and Fujin played that, because they almost pulled it off. Like Fujin sidestepped the charm, sidestepped the execute, almost survives, but the ignite is way too strong. And I think it was double ignite, by the way. I don't think it was just Pikes. I think it was also Ares, because both are in the same cooldown.
Are you spitting right now, TDS? You're right. And I mean, that's gonna be really crucial because
it's painful.
Yeah, with the with Cloud Dragon coming up in a minute and a bit, not gonna be able to have some of the key cooldowns, but I think really importantly, no summoners available for Banger, no summoners on for Fujin, no heal on the side of Kakuchi. I think a lot of these summons are really crucial, but we have the flash on the Ari, we have the flash on the Thresh, so there's still opportunity to make plays. I don't know if Matt G is going to get his flash back in time, but I'm looking at this Silas to see what he can do. Can he steal the right ultimate? Can he play out the fight? Because, you see a lot of the health, you see a lot of, you see the armor being stacked with the Ninja Tab Eyes as well, and there's gonna be a lot of resistances and a lot of tankiness built up from the side of CB Rush. This fight is gonna be really close, and with Soul Point being on the threat here, it's gonna be really crucial that CBR wants to be able to win out.
100%. I feel like this may be one of the biggest turning points in the game, depending on who wins the fight. Because if a lot of members survive, you can opt into Baron. If not a lot of members survive, you can still be able to contest Baron or even fight other like potential picks. So it's important to see how much the team that ends up winning the fight gets out of the dragon fight, or if they are going to dragon fight at all. Because the side of CB Rush needs the dragons because they already are behind in stacking. But being cheaters could just say, well, we don't need to fight this dragon, so we could just give it up, wait a little bit more for more items, and then play through that.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, though, looking at the kind of wave clear and looking at how lanes are playing out, looks like, being chillers want to get that mid push, want to get that priority so they can walk in towards that river for vision. Kind of, might be in trouble, though. Is going to get chained up by Matt G. Does he have that E to run on out? Has the far, oh, Matt G takes the execute! Picks a little chains of corruption, does go wide, but Kanaina gets caught out way too quick, and Matt G tells Prophet of Tears, turn around real quick. Not going to be able to chase for more. So great take on the execute to be able to catch out that pike and basically secure your team the dragon.
Matt G is tired of you talking bad about him, Jason. He's going in, he's getting those picks, secures the dragon for his team. I don't think that this is going to be enough, though, to be able to move into Baron, but it's still now soul point obtained by the side of being chillers. It's obviously Cloud Soul, so it's not the most important or most impactful soul, but there's champions here that can use the dragon, and I think that Wukong particularly is going to be really happy about it.
Yeah, I think Wukong will I think Silas will actually really
Silas,
like it.
yeah, actually, Silas.
You take a Mumu R, you get the increased move speed, so you can get on in, or you take the R. Imagine if you take the Ari ult, and you have Cloud Soul TDS. How broken would that be? Imagine he starts running at them.
Feels like Sonic.
Feels like Sonic, but this game going by just super fast pace. We're at 31 kills at 21 minutes TDS. Definitely
They're
going
really
really crazy
it.
right now. And let's take stock of the items here. We see the 2 items completed for both junglers. We see 2 items on the set. UC Souter is a little bit behind, should get that Sunfire on this base though. We see the 2.5 items coming in from Fujin. Hikaku Uchiha on that strong 5 CS a minute right now, pretty much. Definitely not getting the ball rolling on that Tristana. And that's definitely a point of worry because a lot of your DPS is coming from that AD carry position. And just picking up the Navori now means that you're significantly behind. Can you be doing enough? They want to catch out Matt G here, but the ward able to protect him for a little bit.
I think it's a little bit on the fact that because their composition spikes earlier, or depends on spiking earlier because of how some of the champs work. The Tristana made the decision so that she can have the maximum damage output at this point in the game. But it's obviously probably going to be a little bit less compared to if she had Infinity Edge for later on. I think it's not necessarily a bad idea, and maybe it's going to deliver, especially in this kind of close team fight moments. But it's risky because you're saying we play for this moment, we win here, or we're not really going to achieve much. At least it's how I see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing that kind of definitely worries me is really just, is there going to be enough damage? If that Tristana can play out the fight properly, I definitely think there's a lot of potential here. Maggi misses the chain, gonna get charmed up as well, steals that Spear Rush, gonna look for the chase on towards Prophet of Tears, but not gonna continue, and Maggi makes the Ari turn around, but, has to turn around himself too.
Yeah, I honestly don't think you ever get that potential solo kill in that position. Turret's still up, you didn't hit your initial chain, so you messed out on some of your CC. You do depend on hitting almost every ability with this sort of build from Sylas, because it's not the highest DPS build. It does good damage, but it's not the highest, which means that you really need to be hitting your abilities as much as possible.
Yeah, this is why Maggi ain't good at He tanked that. You see how he tanked that tower there, TDS? My goodness. We see Prophet of Tears might be in trouble though, gonna get cycloned up right away. Rutledge is here as well. Kanaina gonna get caught out, and this is gonna be a straight delivery system. Kanaina kind of just gives away a kill for free. We see both top laners going in for the teleport as well. Pip gonna get jumped on, gonna jump on it with that Sion. Huge AoE going all over the place. UBC Souter gets absolutely blown up.
The turret
Souter. A 1-for-1 between top and support here. Both players kind of just jumping in towards their deaths. Kanaina kind of caught in no man's land there with how Banger kind of left the tower. UBC Souter kind of letting himself just get suplexed.
Kanaina died really early on in that sequence, so it's kind of hard to really say if there was going to be a big difference with Kanaina there or not. The Sion teleported into an awful spot, so it was kind of doomed from the start. Nobody was even close. Obviously, we know the power from the set, just being able to push someone to the back. And then you even have a lot of CC. I think Rutledge, that ultimate was really, really good to stop the Sion from potentially running away on his tracks, and it at least secured the kill coming through. It does show it also that they have the damage to be able to kill the Sion, but they need to hit him a lot.
Yeah, I mean, one thing, really crucial is going to be couple seconds until this next dragon fight, and this one's definitely going to be crucial. We see Magi able to take the tower in towards the top lane, so there's going to be a little bit of map pressure generated by that Sylas, but he's not going to be able to take that tower very quick, so he needs to be able to look for a teleport soon, needs to be able to get into position. From the side of CBR, though, they have all 5 members towards this bottom side of the map. They want to push in towards this red side jungle. Kanaina walking up super aggressively, gonna get the hook on towards Ahab. Ahab might get blown up here, and this is what we're talking about, TDS, when it comes to the pick that CBR is able to get. Can they blow up this flash? Yes, but Banger in towards that backline is going to get the Cyclone, but is it going to be enough? That stopwatch is buying a lot of time. Great Cyano coming in from the back zone, but Kaku Uchiha is going to be hitting on towards that backline. The execute coming in from Kanaina on one, gets the flash out, able to get on out of there. Can't Pip do anything.
Oh, they get two.
This fight as well. Decimating Smash is not going to be able to land. Matt G trying to get in towards that backline. So the flash from UBC Souter means the kill is able to go over, and that's going to be a triple kill going over towards Region. For the chase, not gonna be able to land that arrow, and Big Chiller, WorryBrothers, thanks to Matt G, turn the fight around.
Fujin wanted that last kill. They don't get the Ari down, but they do get the soul. They get the teamfight victory. They played it up really, really well, and at the end they are able to secure the objective. It was looking kind of dicey. A-Hope died so early on, but they were able to just keep up the pressure. It starts with Banger utilizing his ultimate really effectively and playing around that stopwatch timing super, super well. It nets them the first kill, or the positioning advantage, and the teleport from Matt G. Really, really good. It came in perfectly timed. It came in really, really well, and it provided them enough damage to be able to win the fight at the end.
Oh, hell no. Don't give him credit. Magic got lucky with that teleport. That's what I'm saying. But, aside from that, I mean, all memes aside, the side of being chillers, they were just able to stall out the fight for so long. Fuijin, I think he was just left untouched for that entire fight, where it's really just Wukong, Sylas, and Sion, even Thresh, just stalling out the fight for a really long time. Where the damage could just be able to come in. Kanaina just get us caught out here, not gonna be able to use that E to get on out there. And Ahop picking up the kill here, steals it with the ignite, secures it from Matt G, trying to give the gold to the real carries instead of the Sylas there. But looks like side Bing Chillers, WorryBrothers are gonna start up this Baron here. UBC Souter just walking on this mid lane, and that Tristana is just tickling the Sion right now. Look at that, doing absolutely no damage, and Souter is just kind of having his way. Rutledge goes on in super early though. Blue team able to pick up the Baron, so Baron goes over to the side of Bing Chillers. WorryBrothers, that's gonna be a free kill going over towards Banger. Rutledge trying to go for the steal, not gonna be able to get it, and even though the kills have been all over the place, the gold lead still relatively close. It's going to be pulled aside here. Profiteers has to run on away. The Cyclone coming on in. Going to get cancelled once, twice. Can Banger get one more knockup? No. Has to get all the flash turnaround. Banger
what are you talking about?
The kill on towards Profiteers. A bit of an ego play there. So shutdown. The kill goes over towards Kanaina. They're going to be able to take over this top side tower. Ahop waiting in the wings, gonna want that lantern to be able to drag Fuijin out to safety, and Pip just has to walk on out of there, not gonna be able to go in with that ultimate.
They may have traded jungler for mid lane. They did trade flashes as well in that play, but they get the top lane inhibitor turret. Really good turret to try and get down at this point. It can try and secure them towards that inhibitor, especially with the double teleport advantage. You can play off of the other side of the map with that. Can be really, really effective, and I think that that's what the side of Pink Cheaters is going to try to accomplish with this push that they have. I think they still have quite a bit of Baron, and they also will be able to try and open up the base even more so that they can secure the Elder if it gets to that point.
Yeah, I mean, you saw that gold lead just now, TDS. Like, the gold, it's starting to balloon. Magi up a lot of gold. Fuijin up a significant amount of gold. 3 items, almost 4 items. You see that Cyrilda is almost completed. Hikaku Uchiha, honestly, just getting gapped right now. Down 50 CS, 2.5 items. Nowhere near the damage output that Fuijin has. We were talking about, maybe there's a bit of a lack of DPS. But, TDS, you said it, Varus, 80% of the team's AD damage, and he's putting out that 80% right now. Definitely contributing a sick amount right now. Naina does get that hook on, but the rest of the squad there, I don't think this angle going. Rutledge does want to change that though. Matchy able to take on the ultimate. Pip going in with that suplex as well. That's going to be a Curse of the Sad Mummy coming down in. Not very effective.
I hope he's dead.
Able to pick the kill on towards Thresh as well. Banger able to trade, but look at Fuijin in that backline. He's just shooting away. Banger jumping on forward is going to get executed off by that Pike. Matchy going to tank the tower. Profiteers able to trade a kill. It's a 2v2 scenario right now, TDS. Looking a bit dicey. Profiteers gonna jump on in. Gonna go for Fuijin. Fuijin able to live on out. Godlike. The damage from the Varus is too much, and the Baron minions help contribute to that right now. It's a 3-for-4 in the favor of Big Chillers, and it looks like they were gonna take the inhibitor too.
They will get the inhibitor, or well, they get the inhibitor turret. They win the team fight once again, and Fuijin does so much damage in that fight. Doesn't even need to blow the flash, by the way. Like, he was just standing really well on the side, taking enough distance so that he can deal enough damage, but also not end up dying. And this Sion is really, really tanky. He's surviving for way too long. So even though the rest of the team members may end up dying, he's the one that is really effectively tanking everything else.
Yeah, I mean, not going to be able to take that inhibitor in the end, but, you know, Fuijin is him, TDS. 4 items complete on this Varus right now, absolutely dominating in terms of item build. And honestly, I am not a fan of the itemization coming out from CBR here. You know, it's, you know, Rutledge has that Jack Show, has that Demonic, but then has a Build-A-Bear workshop. Bomby, Cinder, Bramble Vest, Chain Vest. And then you have, I don't like the Ari's items either. Horizon Focus is just not an effective item. Morella Nomicon is, you know, it's good. You need the anti-heal, but if Rutledge is able to build it, that should be good enough. And it's just definitely looking a little bit worried. Why does Set have Force of Nature? Into what magic damage? There's just a lot of question marks that...
Into Silas.
Yeah.
Haven't you seen Haven't you seen Magi carrying this game?
Oh, I wouldn't know about carrying TDS. It's more like, you know, kind of being carried right now.
Carrying.
Backpack right now. But speaking of Magic, he's going in here a little bit too much. He wants to carry here. Able to pick up the kill onto Tristana, steals that Ari. Gonna keep on running on it. Pip in that front line as well, trying to do as much stalling as possible. Rutledge gonna be in trouble as well. Double kill going over towards Matchy. Matchy might be in a little trouble here. Great chain, but Rutledge able to get the trade kill on Pip. Has to run for his life. They're able to try survive a little bit, but no. Banger picks up the kill with that smite. UBC Souter is just so tanky on that Scion right now, and Fuijin once again blows the flash there, but able to get more kill contributions right now. It's just looking all Chillers right now, TDS.
They really are looking like that, particularly Fuijin, but Magi has been really pulling off his weight this game. Even though it was looking like he was going to die, he doesn't die. He gets the kill, almost gets out, so I will say he could have probably survived if he played a little bit more safely, but at the end they get the teamfight victory, and it's going to be Elder Dragon potentially. I don't think Anaina can get a kill here. Yeah, no, I think it's Elder. They took a little bit too long for it, so maybe Peep can come back in with a teleport. Yeah, they're going to play it safe.
I mean, really crucially, the thing is, Matt G, the quote-unquote carry, air quotations carry, you know, he's not here yet, so not playing a 4v4 might be a risk, especially if one of your more fed members isn't gonna be there, and it looks like Big Chillers are just gonna play it smart, but the side of CBR are gonna start to rush this Elder.
Yeah, they're going to try and kill it before everyone can get here, and I think it's the right idea. Like, Wukong is really, really far away. They are going to try and rush it.
Out. Sion's on towards 3 though! Absolutely huge Rutledge. Able to get a good ult there, but Magic loves it. Banger! Steals the Elder Drake!
That's it.
It's Chillers season, TDS, and it's looking like all cleanup right now. Matchy picks up a double kill by the skin of his teeth. Got lucky again. Banger picks up another kill. Kanaina not too long for as well. Matchy does not deserve this hype, TDS. A
Super
triple
player
kill
Matchy.
going over towards the Silas. But it is just all banger with that huge Elder Drake steal. Big Chillers, WorryBrothers are gonna take game 1.
I will say I still think they win the team fight, even if they don't get the Elder, because Tristana died at the start of it. But it's such a good steal at the end to close out a really, really, really good game from Banger. From start to finish, he was one of the main reasons that the side of Big Chillers were doing really, really good, and he delivered at the end. Really great game from the Wukong, and really good game from Big Chillers, the 80 carry as well. Fuijin played really, really well, and Magi.
I want here. I pulled out the ice cream because it's Chiller season, but it is not Magi season, TDS.
Magi.
Enough about Matt G. Stop.
Matchy.
He an Everton fan. I don't know if you want to hype him up like that.
Oh. Well, he's kind of screwed already. So honestly, we have to kind of give him some hope in some way.
A Matchy dog. Anyways, Bait Chillers, they not dog though. Absolute. I mean, honestly, that was a very, very scrappy game one though. Killjoying left, right, and center. I feel like if a couple more coin flips went in the favor of CBR, there's definitely a world where they're a bit more of a threat. However, that
Yeah.
being said, they misexecuted again like last week, and weren't able to pick up the win because of it. How do you think they kind of go into this next game, especially since it's been their approach last week and today?
Well, the thing is that they were playing a composition that needed to make use of their early spikes and try and carry through their just pure damage and engage potential coming through. I think that they tried to go for it. They misexecuted sometimes, but they were trying to play heavily through the Tristana. The issue is that a lot of those fights that needed to happen had to happen around the Dragon, and their setups for Dragon and Herald were never really successful in that way. Like a lot of the objectives were controlled by Banger really effectively, and I think that as long as they didn't have that sort of control, it was going to be really difficult for this composition to spike out of control if the side of Pink Chillers were respectful enough and controlled enough. And to a certain degree, they were.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think right now the question for CBR is what next? Banger dominated the map. Matt G played fine. Fuijin, absolutely
Super
no
carry
threat.
Matchy.
Absolutely no threat on towards Fuijin in the game. And sure, A-Hop got picked off a couple of times. Sure,
Yeah.
Souter might have gotten blown up, but they're still tanks. They're still operating as that front line. So there's a lot of unanswered questions going into this next game. And I think, we're going to have to go towards a break, let these teams recoup and reconvene. And
And you
maybe
eat
we'll
your ice
see if
cream.
CBR have a sort of answer. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. And we'll be right back for game 2 between CV Rush and Bing Chillers WorryBrothers.
just wanna feel free, and I just wanna be me. Yeah, I just wanna go so crazy. I just wanna be a freak. Yeah, I just wanna rise to the top. Yeah, I just wanna go reach the peak. So I've been really well focused on success. Hey, y'all will see. Yeah, you'll see that I will get it. Cause
I've been thinking, lately it's just me against the world. Round and round I'm caught up in this swirl, trying to dig and trying to burrow. Pressure turned this stone into a pearl. Lessons that I learned weren't always thorough, sugar-coated like a churl. Now I'm really out here on my own. Now my homies acting like I owe 'em, done extending out my arm. Made a lot of money from my poems. Been around it, now they say I'm on. I can finally say I'm up now, I'm up now. 20,000 on a bus down, a bus down. I'm on my way, I'm going up now, and I ain't never gonna touchdown.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to week 2 of the CCS Novice League. Back again with CB Rush up against Big Chiller's WorryBrothers. And going in towards game 2, CB Rush have a mountain to climb. They, didn't perform the best in that first game. They were able to get some skirmishes, but they didn't pay off in the long run, and they made Matt G look like they made Matt G look good because of it.
You mean super carry Matt G?
Oh hell no, that's Banner of
Yes.
Command minion Matt G.
A banner of command was broken for a season. So I don't know about you, but I'll take that.
Oh hell no! I mean, going in towards the draft, it looks like the ban approaches will be the exact same though. Will the main
Yeah.
chillers ban out that? Actually, no. Maokai did just get nerfed today on the patch, so I don't think that will be a bad priority. Thankfully, for the side of being chillers, they don't have to worry about that champion anymore. But I'm curious to see how CBR decide to, if they want to change up their draft strategy. Getting rid of the Wukong, definitely one of them.
CB Rush attacking the Wukong. I think Sejuani was the band that they opted for in the previous game, and I think Sejuani is still a strong jungler. So not a bad idea to try and attack that champion particularly. The Annie is one of those that I still think is strong enough, even with the nerfs. So it's kind of surprising that we haven't seen more focus towards it. Obviously, you need to be a little bit more intelligent now with how you play it, but it's still a strong enough champion. They opt for the Caitlyn instead. I can see being cheaters just opting back into the Varus and play Varus Karma to just completely outpush Caitlyn.
Absolutely, and I mean, picking that Caitlyn early is, good. Maybe a side of a winning lane, but if you talk about kind of how last game went, it's definitely a little bit worrying for the side of CBR. Hikaku Jiha wasn't able to get a strong start to that lane, which is kill heavy, and it looks like Fuijin's gonna handshake that Varus again. I think he has no problem taking that.
He played really well in the previous game with the Varus, and like I said, Varus is one of those AD carries that has multiple modes to play with, so you can flex it even inside of his own role, like flex the builds, flex the way that he plays. So it's a really good champion overall and has a lot of winning potential to be played with. I understand the Varus pick here. I think it's a good pick, and I really think that he can beneficiate quite a lot the side of being chillers. It's more so now what you pair it with. But unless there's, I was going to say, unless there's another pick that you really, really want, you can go here for the Karma. It's Jarvan fourth instead, and yesterday we had a Jarvan mid lane. I don't think it's going to be a Jarvan mid lane once again, but I like the Jarvan pick now, feels a little bit stronger, and solo lane wise, I like it in the top lane particularly quite a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. J4 is going to be a great champion. It's just that spam gank. I think one thing that I like to think about is the W is just kind of a pseudo buff. The whole kit and idea of how J4
Yeah.
works is you spam gank. You gank the living hell out of a particular lane. You take them out of the game. And with a bot lane that needs as much attention as a Caitlyn lane, and I'm going to presume either, Karma or a Lux being picked alongside it here,
Maybe
Banger
Lux.
on that J4 going to be able to wreak havoc on towards the map here.
Exactly. A lane like that, because we're kind of expecting that it's going to be a squishy bot lane. If you gank the Caitlyn lane and are successful, you pretty much just put that champion in a spot where it's almost impossible to play. They're opting into the Nami, which in theory against the Jarvan is not bad because of the tidal wave, but as a pairing with the Caitlyn, I don't think I've seen much Caitlyn Nami to really say that it's a strong enough bot lane compared to Caitlyn Karma or Caitlyn Lux. And it's going to be at least an interesting experience. But I feel like you just go here, Varus Karma, and you just out push the living hell out of them, and you set up for the Jarvan to come down there, or
Yeah,
Nautilus maybe as well.
yeah,
Oh,
Nautilus definitely has a lot of that engaged setup. I mean, It feels like the Bing Chillers bot lane are just confident that they're gonna be able to, pick up those kills and the pick up opportunities really on towards this bot lane. They feel like they're not gonna be permanently pushed in towards lane, and that's a lot of confidence coming in on towards,
Yeah.
well, just coming in.
Yeah, they're pretty much trying to make it so that they have the advantageous lanes in that regard. I'm not sure if it's going to work that effectively because previous game they did have some like advantage down there in the bot lane and it didn't turn up massively. So let's see if the adaptation this game comes through. One quick thing though, we're getting the what is it called? What is it? Forgetting the show, the Arcane Duo. So maybe they do have some synergy that can provide extra value for CB Rush.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're spacing properly, if you're playing the lane properly, Nautilus should not be a threat. Nautilus should kind
Yeah,
of have
at all.
be, way too chunked out before he can really go in for a hook or go in for any form of engage. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. But with no reliable CC for that Caitlyn trap to set up, it's going to be very, very dependent on counting if you can hit those bubbles to get those traps down. I think right now, kind of going in towards the second phase of picks and bans, banning out the Scion, banning out. I don't know why we ban out Magi Zakali. He's not that good, but once again, a lot of focus on towards just getting rid of things that it seems like Bing Chillers are comfortable on. Getting rid of the Scion, getting rid of the Akali, and the second phase bans from the side of the Chillers are the exact same. So curious to see what we pick here.
They're hovering the Jace. In theory, the Jace with the Barris is not bad. It's good. And then if you opt into the newer Core Drinker Jace that has been popping up,
Whoa!
would have been okay. I don't like this Renekton here, not because it's necessarily bad, but because you're playing it blindly. You can just get
Mm,
completely countered here and it's really risky. But for Jarvan, for Nautilus, I can kind of see why you go Renekton here because those two champions want to go in. Renekton wants to go in and provide that setup. And if he gets onto the backline with the Jarvan and the Nautilus, I can see them exploding both Killing and Nami. The biggest threat is going to be the tidal wave, but apart from that, I think that the Renekton with the champions that were picked makes sense. It's just now he gets countered by the Kled, and I think that matchup is not fun at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really going to be dependent on how if Banger can help out the top lane, if Banger can really just affect his lanes. Because right now you have a bot lane that's in theory going to get pushed in. You have a top lane matchup which isn't as favorable, and this whole
Yeah.
situation creates. I mean, it begs the question that Jarvan has a lot of gank setup and has a lot of ability to do things. I think that's going to be really important to keep in mind, and it's going to be down to how the Chillers lanes are really kind of just setting Banger up. So I think that'll be really important to keep in mind. I really think Annie should be picked here and
And
get
it would be.
another form
Mm.
of CC, have CC set up in every single lane for this J4 to go in on. But 6 seconds, 5 seconds, a couple more
Maybe
seconds to see
Oriana.
what that pick is. Oriana, I am not the. I think Annie would have been good here, but Cassiopeia
Okay.
is going to be the pickup for Matt G here, and I like it. It's okay. It prevents the Vi from charging on in, Kled from initially, following up on that charge. But two ultimates that are unstoppable and range to follow up. I'm not sure if the Cassiopeia can play with the range that needs to when it comes to kind of zoning the side of CB Joshua in a fight.
That's the biggest issue, and I think the biggest problem that this Cassiopeia is going to face. Cassiopeia thrives against short range compositions because she can really make the miasma and the petrifying gaze work massively. But against comps that have something like a Caitlyn, an Ami, and a Six that can fire from a safe range, you're really kind of disincentivized from picking Cassiopeia because even if the Kled and the Vi are going to come through you, you talked about it perfectly. Two unstoppable ultimates. And champions that can really get onto the backline without getting interrupted are really dangerous for champions like Cassiopeia because that means that even if they are short range and they are going to try and come into you, they have ways to get on top of you that you cannot stop them from. And then you have long range to follow up to that, so you're not going to touch the backline either. It's going to be really heavily on what the Renekton, the Nautilus, and the Jarvan can accomplish onto the backline, and then how Barriers and Cassiopeia can fend for themselves to a certain degree.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing that I would really like to see actually is to see Magigo Leandries on the Cassiopeia. I
There we
know
go.
Rod of Ages is a really good item, but I think it's actually good because there's gonna be a lot of HP stacking champions. You're gonna have that Vi, you're gonna have that
Yeah.
Kled, and I think if you get one QE on towards the Kate, the Nami, or the Ziggs, I think that their health bars are just gonna be gone. Obviously, some defensibility will be good, but I think playing for that damage, especially when you have a front line of J4 Nautilus Renekton, will be pretty important.
Yep, overall I do agree. I think that having much more damage onto your kind of poison stacking instead of just straight up your E damage, it would be a pretty good idea because you can that way at least deal damage from kind of a safe distance where you can keep on popping it up and it's going to still be valuable. And then if they come too close to you, if they are already poisoned or slowed or attacked by the consistent damage, the permanent damage, then that's going to be a good way to dissuade some of those much more heavy engages. I think that with the rod, the not the rod, the archangels, you probably have enough resistance anyway, and then you can kind of opt into a Sonjas as well if you're feeling extra careful about the damage that can come through. But
Yeah,
all in all,
exactly.
it's going to bank really heavily on that Renekton and the Jarvan. Like I think those two are the pivotal parts in this composition. If they fall behind, I think the game is really hard to play for being chillers.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of things to kind of fall behind on, we got to fall behind on that spectator delay. So, ladies and gentlemen, give us a couple minutes, and we'll be right back to see if CB Rush can take this take this series to game 3, or if Bing Chillers can continue up that chiller season and clear this game out. Welcome back on towards the rift. As you can see, we got a little bit of a winter wonder going on. It is snowing outside for me, but more importantly, it is chiller season on the rift. That is why. And kind of going in towards the runes, going in towards the items, I don't see anything too crazy. I'm interested about the Conqueror on CBR Relish. I think Aftershock is also an appropriate choice, but we see tiers starting out for both Profiteers and Matt G. And once again, Fuijin back on that lethality.
I think you're blanking on the fact that the aftershock doesn't deal damage and the conqueror does. So I think
True.
right. That's the reason why, right? Like you want to deal more damage as the buy, not survive. Who cares about surviving? If you kill them first, you survive, right? That's the logic.
I mean, my argument is TDS. If Rai is gonna build Chem Tank, was it Chem Tech or Chem Tank, Chem Punk Chainsword,
Impug
and then
chaser,
go
yeah.
and then go Radiant Virtue, you already have the damage from Kled, Ziggs, and Caitlyn. Do you need more damage on the Vi?
So the troll answer is yes. The real answer is no. The Giga chat answer is yes. The
Giga
normal
Jet
person
answers yes.
answer is no. Exactly. You
Absolutely.
probably don't need it. But Rutledge, as we all know, is a Giga chat, so he's going to opt for that damage, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I still remember his Gale Force Virus mid. I still remember that crazy build. But we see here in this top lane matchup, Pip has that bear trap on the rope, and that's definitely going to be the crucial point. Matt G starting off with that E as well, and already getting chunked out so much. You know, can't dodge a skill shot for his life, unfortunately. But looks like jungler is going to path towards opposite sides.
Yeah, took quite a bit of damage, but it's okay, it's okay. We just take the damage and then trade the next time for the better. I will say though, this Barrier skin does fit in quite nicely with the winter rift. Looks really good, even though you can miss some stuff with the bluish.
Absolutely, but looking at this ball lane once again, I mean, looks like you're right, TDS. The side of Fuijin, the side of APOP, the side of Bing Churs, they were confident that they were able to put on the pressure in lane. And look at that, Hikaku Chiha just getting pushed in, getting bullied out so much. Not looking great for the side of CB Rush, who wanted that Caitlyn first.
Exactly. When you have double range, you kind of hope that you're able to take the advantage of the double range and be able to poke in the lane and take as much damage as possible. But this time around, it's more the push has been more effective for both the Barriers and the Nautilus. And Barriers by himself has pretty much just kept them in taps with his own poke. Like just the poke from the Barriers and the Comet have been able to put a lot of pressure onto this Caitlyn and Nami.
Yeah, but speaking of Coke, you look at Magi getting chunked out by quite a lot here. The top lane, gonna be an all-in to Pip, gonna be demounted here, and it looks like Banger, he might want to path towards that dive, just hovering around. Not sure what he's gonna decide yet, but Vi pathing up towards that top crab. Profiteer is gonna get that first move too, so Banger might be in a little bit of trouble here. Magi out of mana, out of health, and Banger doesn't know about the Ziggs just yet.
But he should have kind of guessed, like there's a ward inside of the bush,
Yeah,
so
the flag does go down, but
it.
look at that damage from the Ziggs too. A lot of health getting chunked out. Kled could go for the engage here. Walks up Q, doesn't get the rebound. The Q flash from Rutledge. Banger might be in trouble here. Pip gonna follow it up with the bear trap on the rope, but should just be able to run on out of there. A lot of early pressure in this jungle matchup, and Rutledge, Giga Chad, just gonna be able to take away Banger's Krugs.
Exactly, able to steal now some of the camps. At least they don't lose the life from Banger. And in actuality, it's a trade of flash for nothing. Like they don't get absolutely nothing out of the flash from the buy. So all in all, it's not that bad for Banger. The main issue, well, he still hasn't cleared his bot side jungle when you look at it. So he probably will be able to come back in terms of farm quite effectively soon enough. It's just that losing those crocs feel quite a bit bad, and then also he didn't get the top lane Scuttle Crab, so you're missing out on some of the tempo that the fight did get.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a little bit of a worry, especially considering that, you know, J4 is supposed to be this gank-heavy jungler, and I'm really surprised that they just haven't looked in the bot lane, haven't looked at the top lane, haven't looked anywhere, quite frankly. And, you know, we're talking about J4 as this ganking jungler, and we haven't seen any ganks, and so a little bit of a worry in that regard. You see Souter trying to hold that wave here, but just gonna get chunked out so much here. Pip might get the solo kill here, so close, but Souter just gonna walk on up the flash forward from Pip.
Not enough damage.
Not gonna be able to get it. The extra tower shot means that the health trade is gonna be even too, and so far it's looking quite dicey here, TDS.
I'm honestly surprised with the flashing from Pip there. I don't think you have enough damage anyway to be able to get the kill, but it's a flash for flash. Renekton still has teleport, so it's not like he cannot come back. Wait. Kanina should be fine though.
A lot of engage going down here. Great bubble on towards two.
That
the
was
trap
so
follow
good,
up on towards
Rutledge.
A-Hop there. The flash follow from the Caitlyn too. First blood going over towards the Kaku Uchiha, but Matt G
Oh, the double.
uses the miasma, the ult, but too bad because the side of CB Rush, they managed to turn around. So 2 for 1 overall, but good first blood from the Caitlyn. Rutledge plays it well, able to get that CC down. Great bubble from Kanaina though. So good play for the side of CB Rush, but better from Bing Chillers.
Exactly. Even though it was looking really good, that CB Rush were able to get down there and get that 3-man bubble and try and set up the gang. The timing from Matt G was really, really good to get there to the play first. He also got it with level 6, which means that it was easier to try and go for the turnaround and get the advantage in the play. Really well played by Bing Chillers, really nice re-engage, and they turn a bad situation into a good one. 2 kills onto the carries, which is a really important thing. And now they can try and maybe be a little bit more proactive with this Jarvan as soon as he goes back into base and back into the map.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, only boots picked up from Banger so far on the recall, so sure it can move around the map faster. But Rutledge definitely, couple camps ahead, has a little bit of a tempo lead right now. But those assists definitely did come in clutch here. Gold kind of situated just at a couple hundred gold leads so far, so not too significant yet. But if the waves keep progressing, if the Caitlyn can't get ahead anymore, they want to be able to demolish these towers with the Ziggs with the Caitlyn. So if their lanes aren't going to be able to get that lead, get that kind of push, it might be a little bit hard for them to play how they want to.
Exactly. The fact that they probably really want to force themselves onto turrets and be able to. Oh wait, Prophet.
Oh, Prophet here is gonna get hooked up here. The miasma follow up. That's just so much damage, and Matt G gifted a kill. That was all A-Hop. Really well played from the Nautilus there.
Yeah, I agree.
I got the soils of war.
I really agree. Like that was all on A-Hop. Getting the play going, getting the flash over the wall, or the hex flash over the wall so that you can set up 46. And as soon as the miasma comes down, I think that the kill is pretty much a setup, because Cassiopeia deals a lot of damage even without AP build just yet, and then you cannot flash until the last moment. But when you flash, Poison is still stacking on top of you, so you're dead. Really good setup, really nice play. They pull it off at the end really, really well, and they are slowly but surely stacking themselves up really effectively in this game.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see where the satchel charge was from the Ziggs actually, because maybe if Profiteers uses that W in time, then could get on out, but not being able to means that gonna get punished. And Matt G, makes Matt G look like a good player, which is something I never want. But speaking of other things, ball lane 20 CS difference already, TDS, and this is supposed to be a lane which Caitlyn should have the priority, and they're just not doing that at all.
I think Varus is by himself really winning this lane. Like it's really on the Varus. Just by virtue of his poke and having a little bit more damage with that Comet. Now he also has lethality, so it's going to hurt for this Caitlyn, but really, really good job by Fujin. 2 games in a row with this Varus has been showing really good things and not allowing, like you're pointing out, for this Caitlyn to even feel like a champion or do the things that the Caitlyn should be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And with this dragon coming up and Banger hovering towards the spot side, they want to turn this around. I mean, maybe not dive, since the wave. I don't think the wave is big enough, but they want to be able to pressure tower. A-Hop might be in trouble here. No flash available. You see the Nami move speed follow up. The Caitlyn ult coming down. Can they kill this Nautilus? Should be able to, but Banger wants to go for the turn, and that Varus just does so much damage. The flash ult coming on in from Banger, but it might be a little bit too much here. Double kill going over to.
Is he still alive?
Can Kaku Uchiha chase? No. The Ziggs ultimate, just the tip. Managed to get it. Matt G though goes in with that flash W, gets turned around right away. See, that's what I mean. Matt G not good enough. TDS. Good player would have been able to kill there.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna follow up on that. I don't think that flash is ever going to work. So yeah, Magi, a little bit too overzealous. That flash, it was not needed at all, was not going to be that useful at all. And they get out 2 for 2, both sides. I like the attempt of the play at the start, even though it doesn't turn out the best. If they can burst out the Nautilus as soon as possible. But the bubble misses, so they don't get the consistent chain of CC. And then I think that a little bit too much lack of decision from being chillers as well, because as soon as the buy went in, you had enough damage and enough power to be able to burst her down before Ahop dies. So I kind of don't understand the lack of commitment for the play, then maybe going a little bit too far forward, but it's kind of fun how both teams are kind of being victims of the same thing a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like the one thing that really kind of stood out to me really was just that Prophet of Tears was able to cash in on a kill. I mean, getting the 6 ahead, only a couple hundred more gold until that Leandries will be a really huge spike. You see, Machi does have Okanaina, has to flash, a good flash just to get on out, but just way too greedy with how the vision is played out.
That feels really, really bad. If you have played support, you know the feeling, but that really feels really, really bad. Still, it gets out with just a flash, but that means that now Dragon is pretty much open. There shouldn't be any contest by its top side, so if this Dragon should be really easy to collect for the side of being chillers. Now it's important that Magi doesn't die, doesn't have flash, and the buy is hovering topside, so it could be a potential setup if they're not careful enough.
Yeah, I mean, knowing Magi's position, he'd probably die anyways, but you know, so far it just looks like the lanes are kind of going back to their original states from earlier, but you look at the biggest discrepancy, you see bot lane, 24 CS difference at 11 minute 30 TS. You look at mid lane, 10 CS gap as well. You look at the Kanaina, gonna be dead. The fish, not gonna be too long for this. The hook does go wide from Ahop, the Nautilus ult does go down on towards the Kakuchiha, but is there gonna be the right follow-up? The side of CD Rush has to back up towards the tower, but it looks like Fuijin is just gonna go on a rampage right now. Banger tanks a couple more tower shots though with the Kled ult. Gonna go on towards the Varus though. The flash from Ahop, the flash from Fuijin as well. Gonna pick up the kill or Pip to reward that teleport, and again the side of Big Chill is going for a play, but CB Rush able to respond.
They went in a little bit too deep and at the end pay the price. They get a measly Nami for 2 kills traded, so really good play there coming in from CB Rush to answer back. Yes, the Renekton may be getting a free time in top lane, but I think getting those kills, I'm not sure if the Jarvan had a shutdown, but getting those kills is really, really good. So I feel like it's worth in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, really crucially though, even though the play didn't go well for the side of Big Chillers, Fuijin is 4-0 and Banger wants to keep going in the mid lane. Magi finally does something good, able to get the stun on towards the Ziggs of Rutledge. It isn't going to be too long for this world as well. The Vial just going to be able to stall a little bit of time and a double kill going over towards Banger. I can't believe Magi didn't get a single kill there. He sucks.
Magi doesn't get his deserved kill in that play. I think Banger shouldn't have stolen the kills from the Cassiopeia. They still get the kills, which is the most important part. And Magi, 2-0-3 on the Cassiopeia, not doing a bad job. Opted into the Rod of Ages, so he's going to be quite tanky and going to have enough survivability. Maybe fearing a lot the Kled and the buy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, speaking of the Vi TDS, Rutledge is building Divine Sunderer.
See, I told you he was going to opt for damage. What's Kempong? What's Kempong and Divine something going to do to you?
Radiant Virtue.
Yeah, Radiant Virtue going to do when Divine Sunderer can kill people.
Yeah, I mean, but Radiant Virtue will heal your team so that they can keep doing damage in the fight. But Matt G wants to be aggressive on towards Prophet of Tease here. Oh my god, the knockup and everything is just on top of the Ziggs. Banger on a killing spree right now. Just caught in no man's land, but Rutledge wants to go for the turn. Does get that Q charge on towards Banger as well. Is that Vi ultimate available? No, but the Kled ult is raised in return, and Pip not going to be able to get anything out of this ult.
I think it's been 2 Kled ultimates at this point in the game, and neither have been really impactful. Not the best for Pip. Really good kill onto Prophet of Tears. And see, this is why I think Rutledge opted into the damage build, because what's healing to the team going to do if they are not going to be good enough, right? Like, you want to carry for your team.
That is very, very true, TDS. However, I make the argument, if your team isn't going to be able to play the champs they're supposed to be, do you really trust your team, TDS? I know. No. Me personally, I wouldn't take that.
You wouldn't be a team player?
No, I'm a team player, which is why I would build Radiant Virtue. But you know, speaking of being a team player, Banger is really just sacrificing that farm, blowing summoners left, right, and center, getting that top gank as well. He's probably typing in all chat while all this is going down as well. He was talking heavy. He was talking some heavy smack. He's probably typing jungle diff right now. Banger was saying he trying to do what Queen Six couldn't. I can't say it on stream, but that's definitely the words that came out of his mouth right now. But you know,
You
going
really,
into
you're really trying to to make the fire go even higher, right? Like you're really adding oil, yeah, oil to the fire or gasoline to the fire.
oh hell yeah! But I mean, speaking of adding fuel to the fire, you know,
Yeah,
top
that was the
tower
word.
goes down, fuel to the fire, gold lead is extended here for the side of Bing Chiller's Worthy Brothers. And you know, they're just continuing to look for plays, be proactive, and not allow the lanes of the CB Rush to play out.
And for the side of, I think Big Chiller is doing an amazing job at keeping the game at the spot that it is. We talked about how, or at least I talked about how Banger and Sauter were going to be really important if they got leads and were able to play the game. They should be really crucial for how the game plan for Big Chillers works out. So far, Soldier hasn't had a big part, but Banger has been really, really good. And looking for this dragon fight, they have really, really strong paces, as well as the Renekton completing
Yeah,
that.
Rutledge gonna
late
go on in
ability.
blind though. That's gonna be a lot of damage
Oh,
going on towards
Banger.
Banger, going on towards Souter as well. Great tidal wave.
He's
Able to
dead.
just one shot the J4 shutdown goes over towards Rutledge. Rutledge is gonna get traded away by the Renekton as well. That Renekton not gonna be too long for this world as well. Kakuchiya gonna be able to try
Matt
run away
G.
from this Kazuya. Matt G is just doing so much right now. The damage is spitting out straight fire. The Q not gonna be able to land. The bubble goes wide. The hook goes wide as well. It's gonna be a 2 for 2 on towards the top side for CB Rush and Bing Chillers. But once again, play looks like it's good for the side of Bing Chillers with you know, health bar status as well, just the map pressure. But Machi tanking another one of those Zig skews, walks into skill shots, kind of like a magnet trash player. You know, getting chunked out a lot, but full Fuijin getting chanked out a lot as well. Has to run down the map. The fight is looking a bit split. Profiteers, he's just doing so much poke right now. He's making the side of Bing Chillers just suffer from how much damage this Ziggs is able to do. Can Matt G walk into another Q? No, Banger is here though, does have that flash available, but the abilities just go on wide. The net not gonna be there either. Rutledge is back in the fight. It wants to look for that river control. Once again, I think the carries of Bing Chillers aren't healthy enough. Banger wants to go in though, is gonna get that knockup, is gonna get that dunk on towards Lukaku Chia, is gonna get the flash on out. Pip not gonna be able to follow up anymore. Great kill from the side of Banger, using that vision advantage to his play. And Bing Chillers retake control of the lake right now.
Importantly, they get control of the lake. They may lose this turret because of the 6 potential pushing power. Not actually. They're not able to get it. And in the meantime, Machi and Fujin were able to back, so they are going to be fully strong, fully healthy for this dragon fight. Nobody took the dragon. That went on for so long that nobody still took the dragon.
Banger has no ultos. The only engage that Jarvan would have is that knockup, and I don't know if that's going to be enough.
Yeah, they are oh wait.
Oh, Machi, you're so bad, Machi, you're so bad. Machi's dead. Machi's dead. Shutdown goes over towards Glenn. The fight is continuing. On the other hand, though, J4 is gonna be able to trade the kill on towards the 6. Pip looking like he's always gonna be able to trade 1. It's a 2 for 2 again, TDS. But this time, Renekton in his ult is gonna run out, and you know, Jarvan is gonna be alive, full health on towards that dragon. Rutledge is a bit chunked out too, and so looks like Dragon will finally Dragon will finally go over towards side of the Bing Chillers, but once again, CB Rush is just dominating that mid lane control, choking out the side of Bing Chillers. They have been able to find some fights, but you know, I think CB Rush have done well to be able to hold mid.
They did a good job keeping control over mid, but they never really were able to translate that control over mid lane into control over the dragon pit and the river. They were just kind of trying to bounce it back so that they never were on the back foot. But at the end, they don't get control of anything and they end up losing the dragon. They don't even get the mid lane turret. And I was going to say, yeah, Magi may have died, but he baited everyone. That was the 5-head play right there.
I don't know about 5-head.
500 IQ.
That G4 head so big you could land a rocket on it, TDS. You know, speaking of things that are big, this gold lead is starting to get a little bit bigger. 3,000 gold lead right now for the side of Bing Chiller's WorryBrothers. They have the kill lead, they have the tower lead, they have the objective lead as well. You look at the individual lanes, Fuijin is just up so much on the side of Lukaku Uchiha right now. It's really just been an 80 carry gap this game. You see in the top lane, UC Sauter up only 100 gold on the Kled, and considering that is supposed to be a bad matchup, good news for him. Matt G, by some miracle of God, is also up gold, and Banger also up 800 gold on the side of CVR Rutledge.
I don't think it's necessarily a miracle. If you're 3, 1, and 6, I would expect you to be ahead of your laner. I feel like that should be the expectation, right? But so far, Magi at least has been really good at keeping some of the differences between himself and Prophet of Tears and doing quite a bit of good damage. He just needs to not get picked off again like he did in that previous play, and they probably win the fight even more easily.
No, TDS. Machi getting picked off is a regular Thursday. Don't worry about it too much.
But if he doesn't get picked, that's when things get good for being chillers.
He doesn't get
Exactly, if.
Now, one crucial thing is that I'm just really surprised that the side of CB Rush haven't been able to take towers. You have Caitlyn Ziggs. You should be able to get the pressure on towards towers so it's in W range to be able to kill off. But instead, you know, the side of CB Rush are going to lose that mid tower. They lost top towers, the first tower earlier ago too. And once again, you look at the item differences, they're starting to build up. Ghostblade done for the side of Varus. Manamune almost complete. You have 2 items on the cast. Getting to that 2 item on the Renekton, and Jarvan's going Collector.
Nice. They're going to kill the backline. Like, this is a game to kill backline for Banger. Also, well, Renekton is going for what is it called? The Prowler Scroll. So they're going to try and do the same thing. They're going to backline, they're going to assassinate targets and then get out. Or not get out, but at least do enough damage.
I mean, TDS, what are your thoughts on Collector Jarvan?
It's damage.
It's damage.
I think that's the best way to say it. Well, in the last fight we saw how Bai actually survived quite a bit, thanks to the fact that she had Divines on her, and they also got the kills because of the Divines. So maybe the damage diff is going to be the big thing this game.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage that UBC Souter just did to Pip though. The Blade of the Ruined King active, proccing off there, and you know we see like these kind of traits in Signaling. You said it yourself, TDS, the Kled was supposed to be a good matchup. But from the side of being chillers, they're just able to take it. Banger, getting that knockup, getting away from Rutledge. They're just playing a bit deeper, getting some shallow vision before this Chem Tech Drake comes up. This is a bad setup though from the side of Big Chillers. The Nami ult able to dissuade quite a lot there. Rutledge with the 6 ultimate, able to land on towards 4. But I don't know if the Vibe can survive for much longer. Able to get on out there. The Kled ult coming in from downtown as well. A-Hop with a bear trap on the road on his tail, knocking her live, and Matt G does have that miasma to buy some time, and Fuijin able to pick up the kill, but UBC Souter not in a good position here. Pops that ultimate, pops that dominance a little bit early, gets on in there, the flash forward, picks up the Caitlyn as well. Rutledge not going to be able to get Fuijin either. Double kill going over towards the Varus. Kinda gonna get on out with that empowered blast cone, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to live. The timer's ticking, TDS, and there's a hungry crocodile ready to pick up the kill. Matt G gonna die. Matt G, man, that was a 4 for nothing, and he kind of just ended it. 4 for 1 still. I mean, it still is really. It's still really good for the side of being chillers. They should be able to secure the dragon here, but Matt G looking finished like Everton. Fuijin definitely another strong point though. 3 items to Caitlyn's 1 item. You look at Renekton, 2 items, Kindle Gem completed as well. J4 and Vi are on even footing, but really the gap between AD carries here is just so significant. Fuijin is just running away every single fight.
Yeah, it really doesn't feel that good. Are they going to rush Baron? Well, they have Cassiopeia, so they actually can go for this. And it's going to be traded for the dragon, but they already have 2, so it's not like they care. Really good decision making here by the side of being chillers. I think it's all on Matt G. Matt G probably was the one that called it, so huge props to Matt G. Huge props to Matt G, pulling up the weight of the team and going for the next turret as well. They may get this mid lane turret, but I think that we're way delayed on that. Like, that should have been a thing for like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, objective bounty does go over, but bot lane, top lane tier 2 is still more gold going over towards the side of the Bing Chairs. They don't have a minion wave, and they don't have their Jarvan, so I don't think they're going to continue pushing. But, I mean, right now the situation is just a little bit awkward for the side of CB Rush. They're going to have to defend this Baron. There's a lot of standing gold. Mid and bot tier 2 tower is up. Dragon is 4 minutes away, so good reset here. Take the time to pick up your items. 3 items finished on the Cassiopeia now. They should be able to get some really good siege off.
Yeah, Cassiopeia now has a lot of survivability, so Magi shouldn't be left in the side to die in a lot of those situations. Should be good. The German is the one that feels like the biggest worry because even though he does have the gold drinker to try and get some health back, he's quite squishy. So if he gets picked up like we saw in the previous fight, he probably dies quite quickly. But on the other hand, it's the other hand, Jason, that you have to think about. If he gets on the backline, he can kill people. And he's going for GA.
Giga Chad. No, he's going for IE.
Or no, well actually I don't remember because I haven't picked that
I
item
think there's a
at all.
genuine chance that he could go Infinity Edge.
If he goes Infinity Edge, well actually I can see that working.
It would
So
be
I'm not
very,
gonna
very
say
funny.
I can see it working. Just not sure how much.
Yeah, I mean, Magi dog as hell. He's typing in Twitch chat right now. Unbelievable. But, you know, I mean, what else is just unbelievable is that, you know, once again, you look at the farm gap in that bot. It's 60 CS difference already. It's just so crazy how that can happen in TDS. It's a Caitlyn into a Varus. Varus is picked as a counter pick to survive. And, you know, there's just not... It just doesn't play out to that same effect in mid tier 2 going down here. J4 wants to go in, wants to go for that collector one shot. Not
The
gonna be able to
collector
get
is too weak.
auto traded off. Banger gonna be in a lot of trouble though. Prophet of Tears picks up the kill with that Leandri's burn. And I don't know about that the collector. He's going IE TDS.
He's really going IE. He's really going IE. I was thinking he was going for the what is the other item called? Well, actually, wait a sec. So
They are gonna all in UBC. Souter, the Ziggs are, the Vi are, the Kled are all coming down. Has 2 kills going over towards Prophet of Tears. Maybe 3 if he can get A-Hop too. But the side of Frisian and Magi still full health, still able to get some push on. Frisian gonna get knocked up, gonna get stunned up by the bubbles as well. The Root gonna go down on towards Cassiopeia as well. Kanine chasing on towards that Varus. Still the Chains Corruption going down though. Is there gonna be the follow-up arrow? No. Looks like it's just gonna be a 2-for-0 going over towards CBR. And Bane Chillers kind of letting the door open, letting CB Rush turn around in towards this game.
Yeah, they are playing for fun. They were saying it. They are playing for fun, and they kind of doing it at this point in the game. Particularly with a build from Banger, I don't think that the call should be to go for the IE. They did get the mid lane turret, so maybe they are worth that much. But I'm not sure if that's going to work out. Like I wish to see if this works out because I have absolutely no hope. In all honesty.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a big hill to climb. Ziggs does have that 3-item completion. I'm not a fan of the Seraph's Embrace on the Ziggs though. Your whole point is to do damage, and Seraph's just doesn't offer as much damage relative to other items. And so there's definitely a little bit of, you know, a little bit of worry when it comes to that. I think once again, Fuijin almost at that 4-item breaking point here. Magi gonna drop down the Bias, but Rutledge might be in a little bit of trouble. Rutledge is just completely one-shot. Tidal Wave is good to separate the backline, but Banger jumping on in there, wants to use that collector, collects the Caitlyn. Ziggs not gonna go wide though. Magi gonna be in stopwatch as well. Kled able to get the trade kill on towards the Cassiopeia, but Fuijin is just doing so much right now. Prophet Tears gonna 1v1 against Banger right now, but once again that J4 is just doing so much damage. Dispatcher charge gonna be able to stall for so long. Banger might take down towards that Leandri as well, but Fuijin picked another legendary on this Varus fight now. 8-0 and 6. Banger able to walk on out of there. It's gonna be a 4-for-1 going over towards Big Chiller's WorryBrothers.
Banger too good, doesn't even die, collects a kill, gets out of the other, and they are going to go for Dragon. See, I told you the IE collector was a good idea by Banger. Certainly nothing wrong with that. Magi may end up dying, but he's the true hero of the game because he buys enough time so that everyone else can win the fight. Good mid laner right there, great carry, super carry Magi.
Nah, Magi think he almost playing against Trabzon Sport right now. He's playing against Red Star Belgrade under 21 team. That's what's going on. He's 3-13 TDS.
And he still may end up losing.
Yeah. My favorite saying goes, Big Chillers won, but Magi still lost.
They gave him a chance and all, and he barely couldn't get out.
Yeah, but I mean, once again, like the fights, even though Magi is getting a trade away, it's still 4-for-1 after 4-for-1 after 4-for-1. It's still worth it at the end of the day. It's 3 items on the J for the is completed for Banger, making up for
Can
that
he one
crit
shot someone?
damage.
I don't think so, right?
Okay, Infinity S does have a lot of AD TDS, so I think it's
Yeah, that is
perfectly
true.
possible that any of the squishies can get one shot. I don't think Ziggs can get one shot purely because he has been building
He has
armor.
armor. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Caitlyn and Nami are very realistic, especially since they're only level 13.
I would bet between the two. I would bet Nami is the one that gets destroyed
I mean,
because
it's
I think that Caitlyn took has to take at least some armor in runes, but I don't think Nami does. So that's why I would bet Nami gets destroyed. But all the same, like I want to see someone get exploded, and they are going to get this Baron for free.
yeah. I mean, Baron's gonna go over
Oh,
Rutledge.
unless
Not gonna be anywhere near. Does have the flash. Is he gonna go for the steal? No. Red team picks up the kill. The teleport coming in from Profiteers as well. But the damage, the Crane's corruption is going in on everywhere. Banger wants to one shot that backline. Look at that J4
He doesn't get it.
Zoning, buying so much time. Takes the blast plan over Fuijin. Once again, Legendary picks the kill on towards the Kled as well. UBC Solder does want to go for the chase on towards Prophet of Tears, but not gonna be able to.
it's
They wanna
amazing
just
how
push-
effective Banger is with just him. Like he doesn't even get the kill. He just goes in and finds enough pressure. That's it. He doesn't even kill anyone.
I mean, he just walks at them menacingly, and it's doing work right now. 2 for 0 so
Ooh,
far.
Chad.
Bing Chillers are
Oh.
hitting the tower. They want to be able to take the Nexus on this put, but UBC South are taking up way too much damage. Prophet of Tears picks up the kill, 6 kills on towards the 6. Possibly the last hope for the side of CB Rush right now. Great damage onto their poking Voyagin and Matt G, and it looks like they are going to be able to push them back.
And they have to run away, tail between their tails, and they need to be careful because maybe they get picked up. Ooh, Kanaina gets killed. Whoop. Talk
Yeah,
about
I mean,
tail between their tails.
tails between
Or-
their tails between
Yeah.
their legs. Yes.
Their
sure.
legs, yeah, that.
But I mean, right now the situation it's definitely looking dangerous. It's just even more dangerous for the side of CB Rush right now. They haven't been able to take any tower except for mid tier 1, and quite honestly, looking at their vision line, they just haven't been able to do anything. A lot of the plays that have happened are really just been reactive to what Bing Chillers are doing.
It's really difficult for them because a lot of their engage depends on the buy getting to the backline and then people following up, right? But you're lacking damage with your Caitlyn, like we've seen 4 items to 2 and a bit. Then you have the buy that is barely a champion because she gets collapsed on and killed. You have the Giga Chat Banger just walking forward to everyone and forcing Hikaku and Kanaina to just run for their lives. For some reason, I don't expect them to get insta kill, but they are forced to run away. And then Prophet of Tears has been doing a really good job at providing enough damage, but like, everyone else doesn't. And that's kind of a big issue.
I mean, speaking of damage TDS, another BF sword completed for Banger. He wants
This is
to
GA.
This is GA. This is gonna be GA, which it's a lot better here. But with a minute to go on this sole point, Rutledge and crew needs to find something. They need to find a kill. They need to do something, do anything to get themselves back in towards this game. They need to play it slow. They need to pick up these objective bounties on the top lane, on the bot lane. They need to try to play for a steal potentially. They need to blow up Fuijin somehow. That is 1,000 gold going over towards whoever is going to be able to pick up that kill on towards the Varus there. They need to be able to target that. They need to be able to get Banger in position where he can't jump on that backline so easily. But right now, Bing Chillers, they're just sitting in the river. Rutledge waiting on the flank though. They are going to go for the hook on toward Hukaku Uchiha though. A-Hop gonna get chunked out by a lot though. And Hukaku Uchiha, oh never mind, he's free to hit a lot. He picks up the bombs, he picks up one,
Banger's dead.
Picks up 2. Machi does get that ult off, but that's not enough damage from the Rod of Ages. That's
they're
why I was
losing the
talking about
fight.
TPS. Triple kill going over towards the Hukaku Uchiha. Triple kill able to be secured for the Caitlyn there. And that's just the fight that CB Rush needed.
They tried to force it too much. We got finally a fight where Hikaku could just go in and essentially by himself deal enough damage to take down Banger and also Matt G. Really good fight by the Caitlyn. They committed too much to try and kill Prophet of Tears. They get the kill at the end, but everyone else gets completely out of position. I think their fight would have been completely fine if they just wait and poke out, like bait them in so that you can get the kill, but they were too desperate to force the fight on the side of Bing Chillers, and that's why at the end they lose the fight.
Yeah, I mean, most crucially though, triple kill going over towards that Caitlyn. That is absolutely huge. We see the LDR components picked up for Hikaku Uchiha. Prophet of Tears has that first rod starting to scale up even more. Second rod completed as well. That's a really strong Ziggs. Matt G, I mean, as much as he's like been trading the 4-for-1 to fight, he just doesn't do it. And that's the problem with Rod TDS. It doesn't do enough damage later on. He had a free angle on towards that Caitlyn, and the spell rotations just weren't enough. Rutledge has been able to survive so long with this health that he's actually building. And as much as Banger can have fun and play around with that collector, it's not going to give him the survivability he needs. He does have that GA right now. UBC Sounder does have that Death Dance. And so, survivability wise, it is looking a lot better. But the thing is, do they have enough damage right now? And especially considering that Varus with lethality scaling can fall off.
Yeah, exactly. The big issue is how much time can they buy before their champions are not good enough compared to the other sides to what CB Rush does have. They now are going to have to wait 4 minutes for the soul. They will get the Baron in 40 seconds, and maybe that's the opportunity they can try and play for to try and end the game. But right now, I think that there's more confidence, or at least a confidence boost for the side of CB Rush, and maybe they can try and look for a fight here.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the gold difference is still at a significant 5,000 right now. A-Hop does leave the game, but I think it's just a quick. I think he's right back away, and you still see him on the map. So we're chilling there. I mean, right now the situation is they're looking for a bush cheese here. This could be dangerous, TDS. League is gonna be a horror game right now.
Kanina, yeah.
Might be a great ward to be able to spot them out though. Oh, I might disconnect him. Great ward to spot them
No.
out,
It's a small buffer for the pop.
Great hook though. On towards Prophet Tears. The stopwatch is gonna buy a lot. The tidal wave gonna buy a lot as well. Ziggs can he R in time. Ziggs hasn't been able to R in time. Pip coming on as well. Rutledge is gonna get one shot as well. Varus is dead on the back line though. Cassiopeia able to pick up the kill on towards Caitlyn. Maggi finally does something. Pip has to try proxy the wave. That's gonna be a 4-for-1. Prophet of Tears just gets picked off at the very wrong time, and it looks like Big Chillers with that one cast with those 2 minions might have an angle to end the game.
They have 2 minions. They could go in to try and end the game. Yeah, they can just tank the turrets and try and win it.
Yeah, Renekton is tanking right now, and it looks like
and Banger has
the crit. He has the crit. Pip is able to clear the minions though, so I don't think they're gonna be able to end. Looks like CBR are gonna be able to live to fight another day. Stalling up game just a little bit more.
They're able to at least stall it long enough. They are going to be able to come back, but I feel like they should be Baron. Like, they have a Cassiopeia, Banger has enough damage, and the Renekton as well. Their buy needs to run really, really fast. Renekton also has teleport, so yeah, they need to run really, really fast and try and put the damage with the 6 ultimate, maybe, so that they can stop it. But it should be a quick Baron if they are like fast enough.
Yeah, we see the teleport coming in from
they are coming though.
Legion walking on over A-Hop, taking position, but Pip leading the line, going on and in without some CBR Rutledge, going in on towards Maggi towards the backline. The enhanced Baron damage is gonna do so much more. Prophet of Tears with a huge thing, picks up the kill on towards Maggi. No, Maggi's on a killing spree. I'm apologizing. Prophet of Tears is doing so much AoE damage on double kill. Going over for that Hikaku Uchiha coming in from the sideline. This could be Baron for the side of CBR, but with no jungler, I don't know if they want to risk it here. 2-for-1 going in favor of CBR, and it looks like Big Chillers might be throwing this game, TDS.
It's still not over. I won't say it's thrown, but it's still not over, which means that there's a chance for CB Rush to completely make the comeback. 1 minute for the Dragon to spawn, the Baron's still up. There's an opportunity to rush it because they do have a Cassiopeia and a Varus that deals a lot of damage. But 20 seconds for Souther, 10 for A-Hop. I think that it's going to be on the Soul the next fight.
I mean, really crucially, the thing is, Rutledge has to walk from base on over, so it's going to be a little bit of a delay for him. I think I think really crucially too, UBC Sounder has no TP, so again he also has to run straight away. Both objectives are going to be up. It looks like Being Chillers, they're going to opt towards playing for that Baron. They want to be able to end that game. Yeah, they want to be able to secure a winning push with this Baron. The Kled ultimate going completely wide.
No.
Matt G getting caught out though, forces the flash as well. Pip might be in trouble as well, but that's a Kled. He can survive forever. It looks like Rutledge
There's
is with
them.
the backline doing so much damage. Pip going on and on, killing spree, huge tidal wave, able to knock off
Rutledge
so many
shooting
people,
down.
double kill, going over towards the clan. Yukaku Uchiha picks up another, a 3-0 for the side of CBR TDS. It's not looking good. It's WorryBrothers for the big chillers.
Okay, I'm more on your side now. Pink Chillers are throwing the game. They really are throwing this game away. They had complete control and they just decided, we don't want to win. We just want to hand the game over to you. Please, please take it. And they're giving that. It's a silver platter on their hands for the side of CB Rush. And they're doing it. Maybe they can stall long enough that the Baron doesn't die here, but it's 5 against 2. A-Hope is the only one that is going to spawn, and then Fujin for the next 16 seconds is going to be too long before he can come in.
Yeah, I mean, Magi is pretty strong right now, 6 and 4. Does have a good angle here. Banger does have a good angle here to go for a steal. There is potential here. Banger does have that flag gone down, but gonna have to blast line over. This is a tight one, TDS. Magi just playing patiently on the side. Banger healing up. They're stopping DPS on the Baron. Gonna go for that Kled ult. Not gonna be able to get the pin on towards Magi. They're playing it slow. It's down to a swipe by the great 6W. Objective bounty claim for the side of CBR.
But for some reason, the Nautilus didn't put down the ping ward, the control ward, which he has in inventory. So A-Hope could have at least given vision to know that it was going to come down. They stop they hold it for long enough that everyone from the side of Pink Chillers come back, but it doesn't matter. They secure the Baron and they don't lose anyone in the process. Now with the Baron buff, with a killing that is actually with items, with a 6 that also has items, they can try and play for sieging the base and destroy a lot of objectives here with this Baron buff.
Ooh, Fnatic
But
Bush. Fnatic Bush.
will someone die here?
Shh. We won't know TDS. Shh. Ooh, Vision Plant is gonna be...
Wait,
Oh
it didn't
my
spot them.
God. That just happened.
That works like that?
I think it was because it was the edge, it doesn't show the bush completely.
But
Rutledge,
it does take the bit, but it did hit the ward, which is the weird part because the ward took damage.
yeah, though I know the ward took damage, but they didn't, which is just a little bit on the strange end.
I'm
Wow.
perplexed that worked out like that, but that means free inhibitor and the Baron push is not going to be that impactful.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a little bit concerning. You see here, Bing Chill is just walking up into the CBR base, not giving them any kind of breathing room.
Yeah, they're really trying really hard to stop this Baron buff, which I agree it's the right idea, especially having the numbers advantage. It's 10 seconds for the buy though, so I don't think that much is going to be accomplished unless they get something before she spawns. But at this point, they already did a really good job. They got the Baron, they essentially cut the Baron buff in half.
They did. I mean, they stalled it out really well, but think that Soul Point is going to be so crucial to play for as well. It's going to be a little bit dangerous. Rutledge, is he going to get face checked? Face checking the bush again, going to get stunned up, going to get tanking. So much damage. That R, Therax, not going to be able to stall long enough. The tidal wave is good though. The rest of CBR wants to go in. The Magi is just taking so much damage, taking so much risk. Kaku Uchiha is going to flash away, pull some distance. Is going to be able to trade the GA on towards J4 as well, but Pip is doing so much damage onto his backline. Can that clutch shred enough? Can he do enough? Fuijin trying to buy as much time. Pip trying to buy as much time as possible. Banger walking on forward. Does have that EQ, no flash available, but Kaina might be in trouble. Does gonna get that blast plan out. A little bit dangerous here.
I don't think they can win with these two members. Like, the poke from the virus is really high, but I feel like Kled should be strong enough to dissuade this, especially with the turret. They also have Baron buff, so it's really difficult to push more than this. I don't think Banger deals enough damage, so I feel like they are doomed in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, Pip can just stall for so long.
Oh, the bubble!
Tidal wave coming down. Fuijin is gonna be dead.
No.
Oh, Pip dominating right now, and the game is turned on its tails. TDS. Fuijin was 10-0. He's 10-4.
Yeah, 10. Like, it's been 4 bad fights where he hasn't ended up dying. The previous one wasn't that bad. Like, they caught Rutledge in a really bad spot. they got a really good engaged potential there, but they didn't pull it off accordingly in the end. And at this point now, we're at the point in the game where the gold feels pretty much irrelevant because everyone almost has 6 items. Like the only ones are the supports.
I mean, it's just looking a little bit crazy right now.
Maybe we can.
0-10.
Maybe Barris
Renekton
sells everything.
losing some impact.
Oh, and that
Because
was
actually-
10. Actually, they lose Dragon. Barris is not going to be up.
You're right. That's gonna be a quad Chemtech Soul.
Yeah, I don't think they can. Like,
is
Banger
bad.
has to steal it amazingly. Oh,
Pause.
really?
Ooh. I mean, this has definitely been a testy game so far, TDS.
Like,
How-
I'm gonna be full honest here. I think this game should have never gotten to this spot. Like, Bing Chillers should have gone like 20 minutes ago. At 25, they should have already won.
I mean, yeah, game should have been over ages ago, TDS, but we're still in right now, and you look at some of the
Yep.
items. Death Cap completed on Ziggs. 3 tank items, or 3 just health and bruiser items done for Rutledge. Full build Kled. A lot of threat going on.
Oh.
Banger wants to steal, not gonna be able to get
And
it.
he's dead.
J4 ult, crit J4, not gonna be able to do enough, and Pip gets the shutdown. This might be a throw, TDS.
Well, the throw kind of happened already. Like, we've been part of the throw all around. Like,
Yeah,
as-
the
for as
goalie
long
is thrown
as
back
this
in favor.
For as long as this game has lasted, it's been a throw by Bing Chillers. For what it seems.
I think the spectate delay thing might be a little bug too. I might have to jump back 10 seconds just to watch that.
No, I
play.
think you can wait. It's just
Oh, there we go.
It,
Oh,
it
hell
gives you
yeah.
a small delay, so it's fine. But it's not fine because Bing Chillers really are throwing away this game. So now for CB Rush, and I
this is-
kind of think that this should be enough, but I'm not sure anymore.
This is definitely a little bit of a worry. Chemtech Soul pushing down. Kled with Chemtech Soul is an absolute menace. And I think Big Chillers have been outscaled.
Yeah, it's kind of now on Cassiopeia to do something, but I don't think she's
Oh
going
my
to
god,
be able
UBC
to.
Souter is just getting absolutely killed
chain-
right now. Kled ult to buy so much space, but great tidal wave again. Ahop
Oh,
just taking up so much
bye-bye.
damage. The Ziggs ult from downtown. Profiteers picks up another kill, and 2 for 0 for the side of CB Rush.
And yep, I think we're going to a game 3, Jason.
I think it's perfectly possible right now. Wow, this is looking dangerous. This is looking like we have a series on our hands, CDS.
Yep, like they get inhibitor, but what? They can keep on pushing. There's no reason to stop. They can just
Yeah,
stop
huge
any sort of
death.
engage.
Yeah, huge death timer on the Nautilus. No Guardian Angel for the J4. Looks like they are going to opt to back up the
Oh.
flash ult coming in. Oh, on towards Profiteers. That should be a dead Ziggs. Can they time the kill? Can they time the damage? Profiteers is able to die on out. Can Rutledge
Banger
get
dies
knocked
as
out?
well.
It's
That's it.
even chain on kills, but that's the Guardian Angel coming out on towards Weijin. That's going to be it, TDS. We're going to go to a game 3.
That's going to be it. Yes, Hikaku gets hit. Maybe they can try and play. Not even that. I don't think Magic can do it.
Magi can't do enough here, unfortunately for him. Nautilus just doesn't do enough damage. That Nami healing is just
And that's
outscaling.
it, game
Ahop
three.
gets picked up there. We're going to game 3, TS. Wow.
I'm really hungry, so I'm kind of tilted that didn't go much quicker. But huge props to CB Rush. They were able to turn around. They get the win. They get the game in their favor. And just as I think it's huge props to CB Rush for turning around, huge demerit from the side of Pink Cheaters. Like, that game should have ended in 25 minutes. The fact that they don't, it's both goes to show that they were kind of trolling, and that they just simply maybe didn't know. Like, they are that can tell you a lot about a team. Maybe they're a bad team because they couldn't close out a game that was so won. But at the same time, they did troll. So I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt. At the end, though, they lost the game, and that means we're going to a game 3 where now CB Rush is in prime position to win it.
Rutledge legacy performance, 2-12 on the bye, but those 12 deaths, every single one of them was worth it,
Worth
TDS.
it.
Every
Yep.
single one of those deaths helped his team drag on the play, drag on the game, and he's dragging on he's dragging himself on top of Banger. Jungle Gap. We're going to game 3, and
Yeah.
I don't know. All I have to say is, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back for game 3. We're gonna have a little bit of a break, but banger series so far, and hopefully game 3 comes to deliver. CB Rush versus Being Chill's WorryBrothers. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back towards Game 3 between Big Chillers, WorryBrothers, and CB Rush. I heard a little commotion that, we got some all chatting going on between
Oh.
our two junglers, between the two players, some little tension going on between the two teams. And how do you think that's going to translate into towards draft, in towards this third game, TDS?
Well, after the last game, I think Routledge is in all right to say whatever he wants in the jungle. And obviously, Banger is not going to let himself just like get said anything. You need to answer back, but he needs to answer back in game because that Jarvan performance, particularly the decision to go for Jarvan damage and for create Jarvan, not even damage, create Jarvan and don't deliver, I think it really puts a damper on Banger. So I think he needs to really have a good game this time around. But a lot of new bans, Caitlyn, the Wukong, and even the Vi added to the mix.
Definitely. I mean, they switched up the bans a bit. Bing Chillers definitely thought that the Vi was a little bit annoying. They dropped the Varus priority, however. They realized
Yep.
the scale. I mean, the early game from Fusion, I can't pick a single tooth of that. I think it was perfect. I think it was played really well. I think, nothing wrong with it at all. But going into that late game, he just fell off a cliff.
Well, that's the sort of risk that you take when you opt into the poke virus. He's great in the first 3 items, but after that, he's not a late game AD carry at that point. He's going to poke you out really well and have a lot of damage, but that's about it. He's not going to be the Caitlyn at 6 items or 5 items. He's not going to be the Saya at 5 items. He's not going to be a Jinx at 6 items, 5 items. So the difference can be noticeable. Some around though, CB Rush opting into the Aphelios, not taking the Barrows either, not opting into any other AD carry. So I think we may see Aphelios, Leona, or Nautilus. Okay, Lulu. I like the
Lulu!
pairing. I like the pairing.
I mean, it's definitely like a switch. I mean, I think it works though. Hikaku Uchiha didn't
Yep.
look too strong on the Caitlyn early game, but go into that late game, he went crazy on the Caitlyn, picking up that triple kill, picking up
Yep.
the GP. A ban got dropped, and so UBC Souter able to pick it up for the first time this series, picking up some comfort for the side of Bing Childers, giving over counter pick towards Banger, giving over that counter pick potentially towards Matt G2.
But in the previous game, I think they did have the counter pick, and in all honesty, Soder was doing really well. But even though he got kind of counter picked. So all in all, I'm not against if he wants to once again take that blind pick and try and perform really well with it. I think Gangplank is even better, obviously, compared to the Renekton. He may get his barriers destroyed sometimes, but team fighting wise, value wise in the later stage of the game, going to be much, much, much more impactful. And you don't need to worry about the Gangplank ever falling that far behind or that far down in terms of his usefulness because he's Gangplank.
Exactly. Gangplank, once you get to that scaling point, I think the Lulu blown up instantly. I think Aphelios, even with shields, will get blown up too. I think it's definitely like dangerous. They're banning out the Silas from Matt G, not letting him get those ult, gets the Kled ult, get the Lulu ult. I like that. That's smart, but banning out the Ziggs too. I think those are smart bans too. I think the bans are a lot smarter this game. We're going into more. We're adapting into the series, and I think it's I think it's good.
It's the last game, so they kind of have to take it more seriously in a way from both sides. So opting into really interesting bands, really good bands. I think Prophet really had a good game with a 6 and performed really, really well with that poke champion. Now we need to see what he opts into. But so far, a lot of mid lane attention, especially if they keep on going for Magi Sakali. Maybe Syndra ban here or an Oriana ban here to try and tag the mid lane pool a little bit more. Even Kassadin could be good. Okay.
Getting rid of the Sejuani, making sure that Rutledge doesn't get a comfort pick,
Yeah.
doesn't allow the possibility of playing towards topside. I like that. But I think, this is the game where, if Banger kind of decide to go troll, this is his game to kind of turn it up. And,
Hmm.
we see the J4 come out of Rutledge, so it looks like Jungle will get that counter pick for the side of Bing Chillers. Rutledge is confident. We look at the Twitch chat ping, Rutledge really jungle gapping Bozitos. It
Maybe he
might
does.
happen, TDS.
Yeah, maybe he does. Like I want to see how well he does with this Jarvan, and I want to see what Bing Chillers pulls off here as a counter. What do you have prepared? If they take your Jarvan, it's going to be potentially a
Hecarim.
Hecarim. So not the same degree of early jungling prowess that the Jarvan does have, but will scale really, really well. Will be a really good late game jungler. Okay,
Okay,
the
so we're
logic
getting
is
some
still the same.
confirmation. It's a
Yeah,
Diana.
it's Diana. The logic is still the same. You play for much more scaling, for much more late game, for team fighting, and the Hijarvan is going to be a little bit more proactive than you. I think it makes sense if you're because you were lacking quite a bit of AP, so the Diana is not bad, and maybe you can close it out here with a Yasuo or a Yone. Okay,
Vygar!
bigger.
He did just get buffed.
Okay, I'm not against it. Like the cage is so.
Oh, that's a Victor.
Can they pick well, please? Okay, Victor, more
It's
traditional,
Magi
more
Victor.
normal. Exactly. Victor is more
I mean,
traditional, more normal, more straightforward, and he will provide you the late game scaling that you were kind of looking for. Like this composition is much more late game focused than earlier mid game and Oriana.
oh, I like that Oriana counter. It's a good counter pick. I mean, it's a matchup that I played before, and as the Victor player into this matchup, it's very, very annoying. Oriana
Yeah.
is the counter pick towards control mages, and I think that in terms of lane wise, mid should have the push here. I think it's really going to be down on the jungle matchup to see who's going to be able to perform and whether or not Fuijin can kind of take this performance in towards that next game, in towards that next like kind of phase of the game. I mean.
Yeah, yeah. Next game is not happening today at least, so it's going to be fun. I like the Arena pairing with the Jarvan. Obviously, if Jarvan survives longer than 3 seconds, it's going to be even better for the Arena to try and get someone delivering that ball into the backline. Picture not the best mobility champion, so can get collapsed. The Saya does have the ultimate, but needs to be ready to react for the shockwave to come through. And Gangplank as well, even though he does survive or has survivability and has the oranges to deny some of that damage, can still get exploded if the shockwave comes through. So I think that for CB Rush, not a bad composition to play with. They have engage, they have late game power in the Philios and the Oriana, and they also have a lot of potential control and buffing thanks to this Lulu. I'm really interested in seeing how they perform with this comp.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm just looking forward to Game 3 TDS. It's been a
Yeah,
while since we casted Game 3. Been a while since we did a Game 3 TDS.
true.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're just as excited to go into this as you. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back after a short break. CB Rush versus Bing Chillers WorryBrothers.